Good morning, good morning, good morning. I am so sorry I ran late this morning. Please forgive me. Okay, let me see. Was she complaining about? Oh, okay. Hey, Sophia. I thought she was complaining about me being late, which is a reason to complain. I Please forgive me. I don't like to do that. Views of you, my mod, Very Carey. Thank you for being here. Good morning, K Fit. Uh, Trouble woman. Thank you for being here. Daughter here. I appreciate you being here. Burnley, thank you for being here. Uh, Miss 313, it is always a pleasure to have you. Let me see who else is in here. Okay, I thank everyone who came in to support me this morning. Good morning, BJ. Thank you for being here. Jake Smith, Shy Girl Complex. Good to see you guys. Okay, Nessa A. Nova, thank you for being here. Keens Mina. Okay. Good morning, Nessa A. Southern Nobleman. Good morning. Good morning, Sandra. It's always good to see you as well. Tebe, Forever 17. I think I said hello to Nova. Thank you for being here. And thank you for hitting the like button on your way in. I hope you all hit the like button. I don't even have my poll up, but I trust that you guys are going to hit the like button. Hello, Yatanya Jones. Good morning, Auntie Donna. Good morning, Foot Soldier. Uh, Good morning, Joyce Goodwin. Jay Parrish, Golden Gemini. Thank you guys for being here. Life is good. Thank you for being here. I think that's everyone. I don't see any other people that I haven't spoken to. And for the people in the clouds, thank you for being here. Super Chat VS 3. Thank you for being here. And Super Chat VS 3. I couldn't remember who gave those 5 Cash Apps gifts the other day. I really appreciate that. I really appreciate you supporting my channel. It is always a pleasure. Thank you for being here. OG Beauty, thank you for being here. Silky Black, thank you for being here. Uh, Angela T. White, I don't hit links. It is a pleasure having you here. Okay. T. Evans, thank you for being here. Okay, I think that's everyone. Hey, Nene Goat, thank you for being here. Okay, so I think I have everyone. Thank you guys for being here. Okay, it's not like, okay, I really appreciate my supporters. I really appreciate my supporters for coming over here, even when these motherfucking old hating assholes try to pull my numbers away. I really appreciate you. You know, these pathetic ass bitches who all of a sudden have so much to talk about in the early morning hours. These motherfucking hating ass bitches. You bitches are pathetic, and I'm gonna say it. I'm not gonna act like I don't see you fucking scandalous ass, pathetic ass bitches. And that's why Nina gave you your motherfucking her motherfucking ass to kiss, because you always playing on the wrong motherfucking team. Fucking sick ass hoes. And it says a lot about you bitches. You watching bitches, you jealous bitches, you hating bitches. Ugh. The same people who've always been hating on the time slot. The same motherfucking bitches. Now they getting they fucking funky asses up to sit up and beg and ask for money and lie about the weather and all this old bullshit. Oh, these motherfucking bitches are so fucking tiresome. Ain't got shit to say. But they up early now. Ugh, these motherfucking sad assholes. Anyway, so what I want to talk about today is um, I talked about the sad ass bitches. Okay, what else I want to talk about? I want to talk about, okay. Oh, let's talk about the third wheel, the flat tire in the group, who is trying to, oh, well, y'all want me to do something, and y'all want me to do this, and y'all want me to do that. When this whole old sniffling, babbling idiot that came out here and showed her ass and talked bad about all of them dumb bitches. And then she sits up there and try to act like y'all want people to do something. I think I watched like 5 minutes of that. I don't know what all went on during that show, but it is what it is. I have absolutely no idea what went on during that show. Good morning, King Roman News. It's good to see you, Auntie Donna. Oh, I did see you, Auntie Donna. So I have no idea what went on during that show. Uh, why waste your time with the dumb bitches? I mean, why waste your time with a bitch that's gonna try to sit up and save face? Ain't no face to save, bitch. She was talking about your ass. We ain't want shit from you, bitch. We already knew what it was. Fucking propping these motherfuckers up. Ugh, the prop. We should change the name of the sector. Let me see. Let's do a poll. Let's do a poll. Okay, I want to do a poll this morning. Okay, so let's see. We're going to change the name of the sector. What would be the new sector name, which would be more fitting to these weak ass bitches? Okay. Uh, let's see what else. Let me add an option. Or, mm, mm, mm. Okay, I'm going to give you guys a couple of minutes to participate in the poll. Every morning's over here is always good for a poll. Okay, so let's see what else we have. The psych ward, that's a good one. Okay. Good morning, Dominique Devereaux. Beans and cornbread. Hey, how you doing? Okay. All other sectors stick together, but we snake ours out. A bunch of motherfucking snakes. A bunch of motherfucking snakes. Okay. So I'm pretty sure one of them will be live within the hour. Motherfucking either motherfucking anaconda or a motherfucking one who uh whatever, these dumb bitches. Okay, so it is what it is. It's demon time with them fucking bitches. Okay, so there's that. Since they are so attracted to demon time, fucking demon time with them hoes. Okay, so what I wanted to talk about is, okay, did I miss anything else that happened in the beef sector yesterday? King Roman News went live yesterday. He had a good live. So go over there. Very Carrie, can you good morning, Cruiser. Very Carrie, Candy Cane. Good morning, Candy Cane. Can you drop King Roman News link in the chat for me? I'd appreciate it. You don't have to pay me. Nobody has to send me a cash app to share. It's nobody's birthday, and you don't have to give anybody a cash app. No, I don't need a smoothie. No, it's not raining in where I am. No, just because it's raining in Texas. No, it's not raining where I am. No, I don't need a cash app for that. Can you drop King Roman's news link in the chat for me, please? Also, the Real K Fit is going live tonight, 8 p.m. Eastern, 8:45 Eastern Standard Time. So if you guys can drop K Fit's link in the chat, I definitely approve. No, I'm gonna have to see if my roof leak. I'm gonna have to see if the dogs survived, if the dogs are swimming. I have to check all of these things that happen when it rains, whenever there's a hurricane. I'm always affected. Always affected. I still haven't gotten my car from out of the flood watershed. I have gone through so much. Okay, thank you for dropping that link. I definitely appreciate you. Okay, so thank you, very Carrie. So, okay, let's talk about what else happened yesterday. Not much. Not much happened yesterday. Is there something that I'm missing? Thank you for the prayers, K-Fit. I appreciate you. No, I don't need a transmission. I have a wheelchair, and my wheelchair only runs on batteries, so no transmission for you. Okay, so Faith Yaya went live yesterday, and she offered up, sound advice. Um, talked about mental illness and, talk about her hopes and prayers and uh, well wishes to a bitch. And, you know, okay, so Candy Cane, what are you laughing at, Beansy? Oh, Flickr went live. How about this some bullshit sector? Well, all of the sector is not some bullshit. Uh, it may be a large swath of it, but it's all not bullshit. Good morning, Angela Cook. Okay, so Flickr has come out of hiding. So, so Flickr came live yesterday, and she just wanted you to know, she's still been drinking plenty of champagne and living the good life. It's summertime, and I have me a new Mrs. Flickr. Hello, Pastor Stephen McNeil. Uh, Someone got porn bombed. Who got porn bombed? The pastor coming in here talking about the pastor in here got word about who got porn bombed. Who got porn bombed? Pastor Stephen McNeil. Do tell. Okay. I'm not wishing no one well that tries to give me hell. Hey, you know, everyone's not the same. Okay, who got porn bomb? Hello, everyone. The pastor got the good word about the porn bomb, so all lemon got porn. Well, are you surprised? Is anyone surprised? Thank you, Pastor. The pastor came in like, fuck it, let's talk about porn. Somebody got porn bomb. Hello, Room Shaker. How are you? Oh, wow. People are trying to get his channel down. Well, I mean, yeah, well, he has a cast of characters up there, and he leaves his panel unattended. And when he does that, that thing has been bound to happen. He's been pre-warned many a times that if he leaves his panel with people up there, and especially people he's not familiar with, that he should probably put a banner up. I don't know the circumstances of which this bomb happened, but I I don't know if too many people are surprised about that. Okay, okay. A man wait a minute. I mean, showed her bare ass, and she was dancing and said, "Turn the other cheek," and showed her ass. And I mean, showed her bare ass. She was dancing and said, "Turn the other cheek," and showed her ass. Okay, so was it Lady Wu? Was it Lady Wu? Okay, it was. keeps on bringing her up on our channel, and I can't feel too bad for him at this point. But what is that? What does he always be saying when Lady Wu be dancing? Shake that ass, Wu. Shake that ass, Wu. I guess Wu shook that ass on him, huh? Oh my God. Good morning, ODS. Oh my God. Shake that ass, Wu. Shake that ass, Wu. So, yeah, hey, you get what you ask for. Good morning, Miami Popo. Okay. So, hey, you know, par for the course. Okay. So, at least at least uh at least she was cheered on in her porn bomb. Okay. Wu tried to say her ass cheek wasn't pee bombing when she went on her own channel ranting and raving. Okay. Good morning, Louise Belcher. Okay. T. Evans, I don't know if she was drunk, but certain people should be an automatic ban after acting up the first time. So has Wu uh, stepped up and showed body parts on there prior to this? Wu being a porn bomber. Has that ever happened with Wu? I'm not sure if that's happened with Wu over on Lemons. Room Shaker saying she's been one. So has she been one actually on his channel? Good morning, the state of being. Uh, was she mad, the real K-Fit, because he took her mod? Oh my God. Because he took her mod stick again. What made her do it? Okay. Room Shaker is saying, yes, she's done that before on his channel. So um, it is what it is. Oh, Wu has done it on other channels. She did it twice on my head. I bet you Mahia still let her up, or he's forgiven her? Excuse me. She's a well-known porn bomber. Wu been a porn bomber, especially when she gets bought off a show. Candy cane, sound. I get that. No sound. I get that. Thank you. Okay, thank you. I appreciate that. So I went to bed and I turned it on to watch to see what was going on Lemon Show yesterday, and it was just a lot going on. It was just a whole lot of over talking, yelling, and screaming, and I was just trying to figure out, okay, uh, what are they talking about? But I just couldn't even figure it out. It was so much yelling and screaming and over talking, and I was like, okay, well, let me try to find something else because there was a lot going on when I went over there. So I ain't gonna lie, I was at work hollering. It was funny as hell. Okay, okay. QI was arguing with Envy, who also had words for Envy as well. During that back and forth, she told Lemon she had a funny joke to tell, and then she pee bombed him. Did Lemon come back on? Okay, real K Fed. Yeah, we're gonna diagnose her, give her the meds and a straitjacket. She got to be transported alone with armed guards. Okay, okay. So, did Lemon come back on, or did he just call it a night? I think I heard Rue crying about her friend passing away last night on Lemons. Oh, that's unfortunate. Is that true? Okay. I saw a little bit of Brian. He was exercising and trying to get his health together. But is it really recommended that he exercise and exert himself? I don't know. I don't know his exit plan. Speaking of which, okay, Pam, uh, Pam, I'm gonna invite Pam up for a second. Oh, I am so glad you reminded me about that. Pam, do you want to hit the link for a second? He started a new live. Thank you. He came back on. Hello, who is that? Ray Triggs. Thank you for being here. Okay, so he came back on. He banned Wu from his stream and chat. Okay, so we'll see her next week. Okay, maybe not tomorrow. Maybe next week. Okay, got it. Okay, but I'm scared now. I scared. Let me put up my banner because I don't want a view to pull out one of her little bikini clad cheeks on me. Okay, so let's put up a banner. A view is a view.
I'm just coming in straight naked. Okay, I've been showering at this time. I've left the gym and I'm showering, so I'm naked now. Okay, don't worry about it. I'll put my little mannequin head here. I ain't gonna
Listen,
pour bomb you. Okay, there we
listen to view.
go.
I,
Good
I
morning.
I am tired of you coming in here in different stages of nudity. Do you understand me?
Stuff to do though, but I gotta watch the show. The show.
Oh, that's unfortunate. Candy Cane said
Oh,
she said it was a DV
oh
situation.
my God.
That's
Oh, that's
horrible.
very serious. Yes, it is. Oh my God. Oh, rest
That's
in
yeah,
peace.
that's really, really unfortunate. I hate to hear that. So,
Mhm.
a view is a view.
Yes,
Uh,
ma'am.
somebody was all around the chats,
Mm-hmm.
and I kept seeing these trolls, people I've never seen before, and
Mm-hmm.
oh, Honest Row, ate a view and a view up. Oh, Honest Row read one of them. They added me, and Honest
Mm-hmm.
Row read you and a view is a view for filth. And I said, okay, well, hope he's happy with that. You know,
Right.
okay. I'm glad he feels better now. Hope he feels better or something like that. And then I was in the clouds somewhere, and then they told ODS, "Oh, you know what? Honest Row, he ate a view is a view and Ronnie Q up." Uh,
Mm-hmm.
okay. So I'm just
Bigfoot,
gonna.
Bigfoot, and I know Q. That's your name. Your name is I know Q, I think, and
Ah,
my name is Bigfoot.
okay.
Okay.
Oh, let's not forget. Let's not forget the driving inspiration of it. Okay, so he called me barbecue. Okay, he was so out of sorts that he just really had to say something about she thinks she's intelligent. See what it is you're mad that I'm intelligent, but continue. See, because you know, this is from the person who thought up until shortly before his trip to California that he was going to be hooking up with Shakimi of all people, and still is not. What did I say about this trip? See, I don't try to punch down on people or anything. I said absolutely nothing bad about Honest Row. So, in my opinion, he has had a battery put in his back by none other than the daughter bitch. So he's over there, and I'm really upset. And and Ronnie Q, she did this and she did that, but had absolutely nothing specific that he was upset about. That's what I noticed about that.
That the drag was nothing to be dragging. There was nothing. Just put the name in the title and that's it. Because we didn't say anything about him. We were just talking about the daggone car. Other people roasted him. I don't particularly remember saying anything other than what I've already said about him. He appears to be slow, but I actually was proud of his little fucking skeleton ass. I'm glad to be able to call somebody else a skeleton. That he was able to get enough funds together to go fly to meet somebody that he thought he was going to get fucked by. So go for it. The fuck.
I don't even remember you saying that.
No, I didn't say that.
No, yeah, I'm serious. I'm
We
no,
didn't say anything. We did not
no,
say
I
anything
want
bad about
we
him.
were talking about the car, and shoot, I was thinking you were talking about a cell phone. Okay, so plugging charging the car, and I'm thinking you talking about charging the cell phone. So when the fiasco happened with the trip, I didn't say anything rude,
Mm,
crass, or anything. I said it looked like he had fun. And I saw him with a chick and he looked like he had fun. It
yes,
looked like
that's what
he
you
turned
said.
his trip into something nice and he had more fun than he would have had. All of this stuff. And now
Right.
he's over there with his bony face balled up, trying to talk about Ronnie Q's intelligence. This is the same person that got stood up and is still trying to scrape pennies together to meet Shakimi in Vegas. Honest Row,
Mhm.
you have absolutely nothing specific to say that Ronnie Q said about you. You know why? Because she didn't say anything about you. I showed you grace. So shut the fuck up, you bony fucking ugly bitch.
Yep. Yeah, you didn't say anything. Now I might have said something on another live, but I when I was over here, I was on my good behavior. We didn't even say anything about him, but I don't even know why he felt confident enough. Like he's got somebody put batteries in his back, like you said, to even put our names in the damn title and talk about how Ronnie no IQ and then Bigfoot. And why is big child, I'm 5'10". What am I supposed to have a size 4 Tinkerbell shoe? Like this is so corny. And the Bigfoot part, we know where you got that shit from Big Head, Big Bobble, Floating Head. Okay, well, go ahead with that. Whatever, nigga.
On his whole dragging, y'all. No, he really didn't drag. He had no points to make because there were no points to be made. Nobody said any. So he's sitting up there and Ronnie IQ, she won't be president. And go back over to that channel of yours. And I look down, and you know what? That video that I'm watching has 16 views, two of which I'm
Right.
pretty sure was mine in views. And
And
he
somebody cashed at me to go watch the goddamn video. Because I wasn't even paying no attention to that motherfucker. Somebody cashed at me. Thank you for the dollar. I appreciate it. Mama gonna buy a crayon. Yes. Cashed at me said, bitch, Ronnie Q over there dragging your ass. I was like, what? Not Ronnie Q.
um,
Honest Row over there dragging your ass. No, they said Ronnie Q. I mean, Honest Row over there dragging you and Ronnie Q. And I said, really?
and that the simple fact that they actually called that shit a drag. They had a
Right.
they had a promo team out and everything. Everywhere I went, I was like, Ronnie, road drag, y'all,
Yeah.
drag you in a view. I was like,
I,
oh
I
really?
got about 4 messages from people that I don't even chat with, and they was like, "Did you hear that Road drag you and Ronnie Q?" And I was like, "Well, okay, well, let me go ahead and make a point to see this motherfucking drag." It
And
was all of what 6 minutes with a goddamn ragged ass goddamn cup of coffee and
with
nothing. It
with
was nothing.
with a cup with a cup of coffee doxing his full government name on the goddamn cup of coffee. But I digress.
Right, that part.
Ronnie Q's unintelligent.
Right, and what? See, you know what? This is kind of shit that make me mad now. I don't give a fuck. You put my name in the goddamn title and drag my ass, but why the fuck you got to drag my goddamn coloring books, skeleton? Why you dragging my goddamn coloring books? My coloring books are goddamn multi-million-dollar business. Okay, the fuck. I ain't seen none of it, but I'm just saying, like, why you gonna drag my coloring books? You look like you color. You look like you need to be colored. The fuck? It just sounded so stupid and so lame, Miss Ronicue. I think he was just trying to, be a part of the cool people or whatever. We're gonna drag the people this and that. Oh yeah. It was so
And
dumb.
the simple fact of it is, you sit your ass up and routinely hit the panel of a motherfucker who calls you slow row, and you think I care? It's just like, for this motherfucker to actually say something about somebody not being intelligent. And see, I'm not gonna go there. It speaks for itself.
Right.
it,
That
it
one I
speaks
guess.
for itself. You
Yeah,
know,
just kind of let that one go. Now, if he comes back again, oh, you really want to smoke, so I spoke on it last night, and that's all I got to say, really. But that was a week or two. Why y'all sending somebody like Roe to come after the show? I don't even know. Oh, Lord, I'm rapping.
he better. That Negro needs to go. Like, he's just so lame. All right. So I just wanted to touch
Okay.
bases on you about that.
All right, I gotta go, and I'm still listening, but I gotta
Go
go
get
finish
dressed.
cleaning my body. I'm naked, y'all. I'm naked. All right,
All right. Okay.
bye.
So I wanted to touch bases with a view on us getting dragged by Honest Road yesterday. Okay. So hmm. So Very Carey did live watch yesterday. She was like, a friendly place to sit and converse. And oh, oh, Honest Row. Um, Honest Row. What is it? Oh, you're right. You don't know me. No, I don't know you. What is this about Blue Wolf Phoenix? What are you talking about? I don't know anything about what you're talking about Wolf Phoenix. I say what I say. I give my commentary. If you don't like it, fine. You don't like it, but you've never been a part of my commentary, so I don't get your point there. But Honest Row, you're right. You have never conversated with me. See, because I don't conversate, because conversate is in fact not a word, it's converse. Okay. Okay. So go over there and tell daughter to take those batteries out your back, because they're dead, much like his little dry coochie. Okay. Thank you. All right. So yeah, so there's that. Okay. So what else did I miss? Is there anything else that I miss yesterday? I'm not sure. Let's see. Let's see. Thank you. I can't stand when people say that. Yes, that's what that was about. I mean, I just like, I was just like, what is your point? I just want to hear one thing you're mad about. One thing you're mad about. What did I say about you though? You have nothing? You're absolutely nothing? Okay. You're mad about my commentary. Okay. Okay. That wasn't about you. You know. Okay, so let's talk about this Project 2020. You guys want to talk about that? Oh, let me close the poll and see what should be. Did you guys take the poll? Okay. So let's see what we should call the news sector. Let me see how many of you took the poll. Let's end the poll. Hey, Dr. LaShonia, good to see you. Okay, new sector name 60%. The banking sector, prop up a bitch sector 20%, lying sector a close to 19%. Okay, this comes out of 210 votes. It seems like the begging sector has it. So I'm just going to continue to be an individual. And thank you guys for participating in the poll. Okay, I appreciate you guys. I'm so sick of these dusty losers begging. Okay, so the cash me outside, cash out sector. Anything help? Anything else happened on the street? I don't think that there's. I don't recall. So, is there anything else that you guys want to talk about that happened on the streets? Oh, the Miss Obnoxious, of course, hit her page. But it's just really curious. Like it's all baked in the cake because Lady Nika is sure. Don't worry, she's gonna bring her page back. She just put it in incognito. So everything about this, it's all baked in the cake. Hey, let me massage you that you care that she just put it on incognito. Don't worry. Who the fuck worry? Who exactly? Who was that for? Who's worried that she closed her page down? Oh, don't worry. She'll be back. Uh, am I worried that she won't be back? So all of this is all baked in the cake, and it's already packaged up how we gonna present this, and but you guys are the ones who are mad. Child, no, I'm just not. I'm just the one who's not a fucking fool. That's who I am. Okay. Um. Good morning, sunshine. How are you? Okay. So there's that. Um. Nothing. Nothing. In all honesty, though, she needs a YouTube break. Yes, she does, and she needs some psychological counseling. In my opinion, I am not a doctor, but it seems like she needs to speak with someone who can give her some medication. Medication. So, okay. So, do you guys have you guys been studying up on this project 2020 that I have been telling you about? Uh Now here it put a one in the chat if you definitely feel like you must vote or you will be voting in this election. I don't need to know your prior voting history or anything. Or two in the chat where it's like, oh, they always say this, but one in the chat if you feel like this vote is more important, or two in the chat where it's always this hyperactivity that's put out around voting. One in the chat is very important. Two in the chat, they're just trying to scare you. I didn't change the second one so many times. Okay. I see a one. Did I say, what did I say? Yes, I do mean 2025. What did I say? 2015? Miss Detroit said three. I don't know what that means. That was not an option. Uh, Good morning, God Mama. Thank you for being here. Rich rising to you. Okay. Two. Okay. The elements think that it's just hyperbole and there's nothing to this. Okay. So they don't say nothing about Kennedy running. That's a good point. But he's not even on the ballot in all 50 states. So why bother to say anything about him running? Because he's not going to win because he's not on the ballot in all 50 states. So, uh, uh, you know, um, Candy Kane think it does not. Uh, I don't know what three means. Good morning, Justnet. It is good to see you. Okay, so okay. So we got a couple of votes out of the and 33 people in here. Okay, I get it. Hmm. Okay, so does anyone want to talk about this 2020 thing? Because I won't hold you guys. Um, if you want to know more about it, do you understand how it will affect your life? Do you understand that they are rolling back a lot of things as far as uh, overt racism, being able to get jobs, being able to um, get a job that's going to pay a decent wage no matter what your color is. They're trying to cut back on workers' rights, which means 8-hour day, 40-hour work week, what type of breaks you are that is cooked into the sauce at your job. These types of things, your right to, of course, they're going to try to take out away your rights to organize as a union. See, a lot of people, a lot of jobs have really gotten away from unions in the past 20 to 30 years, but you must understand that without unions, there would be no regulated work rules. Unions are the reason why the average work week was established to be 8 hours a day, 2 days off. You must have a break. You must have a break within 3 hours. You must have X amount of time, at least a half hour for lunch. See, all of this became normalized because of union pushing regulations for employers. So they plan to cut back on all of those things, which means, uh, like, you know, people like Ron DeSantis who say construction workers can't even stop working in the state of Florida to drink water. These type of draconian laws and all of this type of stuff. Okay, three means one and two, Ronnie Q. I don't want a crazy man in there. I know that. Okay. Okay, so all right, you'll give up your rights and liberties for Biden not to be in office. Okay, I got you. Okay. So, good morning, Leo. It's good to see you. That's 2024, Ronnie Q. I don't know what you mean, Candy Cane. No, it's called Project 2025. I don't know what you're saying. Oh, I said 2020. Thank you, Angela. I mean, Hood Scriptures. No, I definitely mean Project 2025. Do you, uh, I don't know if everyone is aware about what Project 2025 is. Um, Good morning, Life with Jamelia. Okay. So, do you guys have any thoughts on it? Is there anything that you're thinking about it? Have you heard about it? Where are we in this? Are we anywhere in this conversation here? Nowhere? Okay. Well, all right. That's all I got for you guys today. I'll drop a couple of links for you. You can peruse them at your leisure, and yeah, that's all I got. I'm gonna drop these links right here, and you're more than welcome to um, go through them and check them out. I think it would be uh, to your. I think that these are some things that will really surprise you and shock you about what the Conservative Party has lined up for people who don't take this vote seriously. Um, there's a lot of liberties that are going to be replaced by Um, really, here we go. Good. Let me give you this link right here, and I'll let you do the homework yourself. No one's having any conversation about it, so I will give you the information to help you get to an understanding about it. But I can't converse with people who don't have anything to say back. So I'm just gonna leave you with some information. Hold on one second. One second. There's a young lady who really explains this quite thoroughly. Oh, yeah, this is the one. Uh, Project 2025 is a 900-page document which the conservative have put forth as a way the way that the Conservative Party, if they get into power this election, the way that they will change the way that the United States is governed. And they plan to make these changes within the first 180 days of the presidency. And you will be harshly affected by these changes in policy. Okay, Dr. LaShawn, no, that's LaShawn Allen, getting ready for work, but I'm sorry, getting ready for work, but I am adamantly against this BS the Republicans are trying to push. Uh, them getting rid of no fault divorce. Yes, you're not going to, be just able to get out of your marriages. A whole lot of things is in this. I wish I wasn't at work because there are several, if not dozens, of items that are on Project 25 that hinders Black Americans. You're definitely right. They are taking down any securities that you will be able to sue uh, for uh, for discrimination in your jobs, in any manner. Good morning, sophisticated brat. It's good to see you. So good morning, Ronnie. Please keep bringing it up as you have been. It's really important that people are aware of the agenda. Okay. Yes, I'm bringing it up. Let me pull up something else for you guys to look at. Uh, Let me see. It's so many people who always say, "Yeah, yeah, talk about it." I want to talk about it, but yeah, the panels are full of people who hit the panels to talk about dumb shit, bullshit. Yeah, you know, hey, I do what I can, but it is what it is. You know. Okay, let me see what else. Here's another one. Okay, Project 25, the alarming fascist autocrat agenda of Trump and MAGA to uphold white supremacy. Okay, so, you know, uh, there's that. Um, so I'm just going to drop some links for you guys, and, you can peruse them or not. Um, I'll drop the link, see if anybody wants to come up, and if not, I'm out of here. Okay, so there's the link. Let me see if I think I have one more that I would like to share with you. because I have shown you the interview with the president of the Heritage Foundation, the think tank that has put together this manifesto, as it were. I've shown you that. I've, you know, I've had conversations on it. I can't continue to, mm, that's it is what it is. Whatever. Okay, so one more. Let me see. Let me see. Oh, I've already given you that one. Okay, so with that, good morning, DC Kool Aid. It's good to see you. Please hit the like button. If they don't do that, people will become Windows. If they do that, people will become windows to get widows to get out of their marriage. I'm sorry, windows. I was like, wait a minute, windows. Okay, widows to get out of their marriage, or widowers. So, all right. Good morning, Olivia.
Hey, Ronnie Q. I woke up late and I just came in. But I heard you saying, people filling the panels basically to talk about junk, but don't nobody want to talk about this. I don't know what you've covered so far, but I'd be happy to, talk about it with you if you'll bear with me if you want me to, or you can just go on and close out. But I didn't
Yeah,
want you to think nobody cared.
yeah, yeah. It's just at this point, yeah, um,
I didn't hear about
yeah.
the manifesto. Could you tell me what the manifesto covers?
Okay, okay.
I'm
It's
sorry. Like I said, I spoke before. I just want to apologize again because I
no,
just
it's not.
woke up.
It's not your fault. I'm just kind of in a funky mood right now because you know you look at these people who entertain a whole lot of bullshit, and nobody has it's very few people has anything to say about how this fucking world is about to turn on its motherfucking heads, and they sitting up here acting like it's all gravy, pretending like they're things that they're not, and some of them are so motherfucking stupid that they don't understand that this shit is finna fucking shock the whole motherfucking United States to its fucking core. They're
Mm-hmm.
talking about there is gonna, and you think what you think you're gonna do? You think you're gonna go out and protest? No, you're not gonna go out and protest because you're not gonna be able to, because that's one of the rights that they're taking away from you, to protest your government.
Mm-hmm. And did you
Something
know
that
that
used
Donald
to be in
Trump
the
is?
Constitution. Go ahead.
Mm-hmm. I was just gonna say, and did you hear that Donald Trump, if he's elected, immediately he wants to impose 120 something days of martial law. So no, you won't be able to go out and protest.
You're
Yeah.
not going to be able to go out and protest anyway, because that is
Mm-hmm.
in the whole 2020. That is what one of the rights that they're taking away from you, and they are putting in that they will be able to use the military here at
Mm-hmm.
home to get their agenda done. So
Mm-hmm. 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 You're
so
absolutely right.
let's but everybody's like, oh no, I need to go cash out motherfuckers for smoothies. I need to go pretend like it's raining in places it ain't raining, to hear dumb bitches talk about dumb shit, so it is what it is.
Well, when it comes to that, I said on my channel several times. I don't know if you heard it or not. That black people don't realize that when it comes to the black vote this time, we are literally the ones that stand between freedom and dictatorship. That is why but then that is why partially they asked the questions that they asked when Biden and when Biden and Trump did the debate. They asked those questions concerning black people directly, because the Democrats and the Republicans know that we could swing the vote either way. But no, I find it interesting that no party is willing to come out and say so. Do you see what I'm saying? Because there are a lot of us that vote, but there are also a lot of us that don't care, like you said, because we dwell in the land of escapism, right? And the reason
Mhm.
why they say black people don't know what's going to happen to them until the last minute is because they are in such a deep delusional state, that they don't care, and it's unfortunate. But then there are those of us that try to sound the alarm, but even then, folks don't want to talk about it. That's the reason why I hit the link. But a lot of black folks that can vote don't even realize how important our vote is. And if we did, we would be advocating more for what it is that we need in our communities. You got Clyburn up there; they calling him the kingmaker. As far as the Democratic Party goes, but he don't have enough sense to tell Biden honestly that he need to
Mhm.
step down because
But
it's like they are giving this vote to Donald Trump on a silver platter with Biden still being up there.
let's go back a little further. See, because they didn't have enough common sense to let people primary Biden in the first place, so they wouldn't find themselves. See, because they wanted to be kingmakers, they wanted to do all of this by themselves. Now, one of these alleged kingmakers who is now saying that Biden should step down and they should bring someone else in. Kamala Harris is not going to win either, because it's too many people who are not going to vote for a woman, much less a woman of color. She's not going to win the majority vote either. So, what are they going to do? See, they put themselves in this position themselves for sitting up there playing with democracy and not letting somebody primary Biden to see who the best candidate would be. Also, did you hear that one of these kingmakers came out yesterday and talked about Bernie Sanders was the leader and he would have surely have been the nominee, and all of that, all of the momentum, all he won in Iowa, all of the momentum that Bernie Sanders had. What did they do? They went to the media to shut him out of the media. They all these big donors and these kingmakers wanted to make sure that Biden was the nominee. So see how it worked out for them that time. So they tried to do the same thing this time, but they know that Joe Biden was at a mental deficit, and they should have term limits or age restrictions on the Supreme Court justices and the presidency. I don't care. We've already had one senile president, and probably more than that, in the White House.
Yeah, Ronald Reagan was one of them. You're right about that, but the Republicans don't want to talk about that. You know what I mean? How he had dementia and he couldn't even run the country his last term. They don't
Hmm.
want to have that discussion. But as far as Biden goes, I absolutely agree with you. They knew that that man don't even have no bass in his voice. He talks with a whisper, and they don't even want to mention the fact that they brought him out of retirement to run against Trump. But they should have had some kind of contingency plan. And what they should have done was have Kamala Harris be the vice president. Honestly, because they know that it's something he was already old and there's no strength behind her. Because like you said, ain't nobody gonna vote for her. If they wouldn't let Hillary Clinton have her turn, what in the world did they think they was gonna do for Kamala Harris? She black and she a woman of color and she's a woman. So I mean, they snatched it away from Hillary. So I mean, I don't. They and then the way that the Democrats are turning on Joe Biden at this point in time, because like you said, they didn't have enough sense to do a primary. Because there are
Hmm.
several people that could have stepped in his Democratic position that were stronger, like you said, like Bernie Sanders, like the ones that we talked about previously. What's the guy's name? In California, I like him. Uh,
Gavin Newsom.
yeah, I like Gavin Newsom. I really like him. And maybe Beto O'Rourke. Nobody don't want to talk about him. They try to shut him up for whatever reason. I like him. And it was one more. What's that guy's name? I can't think of his name right now. But anyway, there are several Democratic, nominees that they could have, people that they could have nominated that would be able to stand up against Trump. because when you coming at somebody like Trump, you're going to have to show a sign of strength. Because all this country is seeing when it comes to Trump and Biden, they're seeing that even Trump is don't know nothing about government, even though he want to be a dictator, even though he wants to pretty much do away with the Constitution of the United States of America. He ain't nothing but a con man, and a liar and a thief. They don't care about none of that. All they see is a strong white male patriarchal person, and
And
that
it's
is what they're seeing.
And so what good is it having Donald Trump in here? They acting like Donald Trump is such a good president. He is
Right.
equally as unwitted as Joe Biden at this point, because he
Yeah.
knows absolutely nothing about being running the
Mm-mm,
country even after
mm-mm,
having been president. He has
mm-mm,
no policy that he set out. And now that this Project 2025 has been getting some traction, he is trying to separate himself. He said he doesn't even know what Project 2025 is, when many of the people who worked with him, from that dude Stephen Miller, who separated the children at the border and all of this, all if the person who said that the best thing to do was to separate infant children from their
mm-mm,
parents when they
mm-mm,
came over here, who
mm-mm,
many of them have not been reunited with their families, what do
mm.
he think? What the fuck you think they got in store for you? He is one of the architects of this Project 2025,
Yeah,
and it's not
absolutely.
for undocumented immigrants. It's for United States citizens. This person.
Absolutely. It's for black people, number one. We are number one on the hit list, okay? Now, here's my thing. It makes me cringe every time I see a black person say that they are going to vote for Donald Trump, okay? Because I'm thinking, are you serious? Do you not see him being racist? As a matter of fact, speaking about racism, you know that the other day in Nashville, Tennessee, there was a white supremacist rally in the center of, they were allowed to march down the center of Nashville, Tennessee. It was hundreds of white supremacists. They had their heads covered, but they all had on the same outfit, tan pants with a black shirt, but their heads were covered up, right? And the
Mm-hmm.
city actually allowed that. And there were no from what I know, like the NAACP or any black organizations, nobody said anything about that. The only people that spoke out against it was the Anti Defamation League, which is a Jewish organization, right?
Right,
They are
right.
the only ones that said anything about it. So they are promoting this type of propaganda right now in the state of Tennessee, because we know that this is the home of the Klan. So why wouldn't, in addition to them, marching down the street, we know that the state of Tennessee is an open carry and a concealed carry state. You do not even have to have a license to carry a gun. They had guns holstered on their sides, along with carrying the American and the Confederate flag. Okay, so if that's
Mm-hmm.
not a hint of what this country is going to turn into, I don't even know what is. Like, what more do you need? And then you got somebody like D Miss O. I have to hate to bring her name up in this conversation. You so worried about what's going on YouTube, but look what's going on in your own city. Okay, I'm thinking, girl, are you okay?
She's
So it's just
unaware of.
amazing.
She is unaware. I can't even talk to her in the context of this conversation. It would be okay. Okay, let me show one thing. Oh, sorry. So people oh well, what? Okay, I've given you the link to find out what Project 2025 is. So I'm gonna share this. I don't know if you saw this. Okay, wait a minute. Where is it? Okay, so I showed you guys the interview with this dude Kevin Roberts. Kevin Roberts is the president of the Heritage Foundation, the think tank that put together this Project 2025. So, uh, can you see the screen, Olivia?
Yes, I can see it. Go ahead. I
Okay.
hadn't seen this interview, by the way, either. But no, I haven't. I
And
can see the screen.
bloodshed, he said it out loud. He says, listen, it won't be any bloodshed as long as the left allows what is about to happen to happen. I'm paraphrasing. Here it is.
Let me speak about the radical left. You and I have both been parts of faculties and faculty senates and understand that the left has taken over our institutions. The reason that they are apoplectic right now, the reason that so many anchors on MSNBC, for example, are losing their minds daily is because our side is winning. And so I come full circle in this response and just want to encourage you with some substance that we are in the process of the Second American Revolution, which will remain bloodless if the left allows it to be.
Okay. So you heard it
You
out
heard
of
it.
this. Okay, I dropped that link so you guys could hear the rest of that.
Oh,
You
yeah.
heard it out of the man. He said,
Mhm.
if the left allows it to be, he said, we are
Mhm.
winning. And
Yeah.
if you don't comply,
Hmm.
you're going to die.
Yeah,
We're coming
absolutely.
upon our Second American Revolution. So,
Mhm.
these are just some things that,
Mhm.
yeah,
I
yeah,
agree
these
with
are
it. Because
now
guess what?
this. I
Here's
see,
the problem.
but
Sorry.
see, here's the problem. Here's the problem is
Mhm.
when you say it, see, people don't believe it. See,
Mhm.
people don't believe. See, this is the president of the people who wrote these policies, who
Mhm.
Donald Trump is enacting. But
Mhm.
you hear it for yourself.
Hmm.
Okay, go ahead, Olivia. Here's the
Oh, I'm
problem.
sorry. I didn't mean to make
No,
it
no,
sound like
you were saying here's the problem. I was trying
yeah,
to get you.
he's telling the truth. Here's the problem. They are winning. And it looks right now as if the Democrats and the Republicans want Donald Trump to usher in this Project 25 and whatever it is that they want to do. They are simply afraid of Donald Trump and his people. They know what a mighty sword white supremacy racism yields in this country, right? And so that is the reason why the Democrats are getting scared. They are turning against Donald Trump. They don't know what to do right now.
You mean
And
Joe Biden?
huh?
You
I
mean
mean, yeah,
Joe
they're
Biden?
turning against Biden, yeah, but they are winning right now. We are coming on the heels of the Second American Revolution, because, and it's not going to be at the behest of black people. What was the first Civil War about? Primarily, the Civil War was about a bunch of white folks in the
Oh,
South that didn't want to lose their main source of income, which was what? Was it not us?
no, it was the money that we generated. See,
Right,
they
we,
didn't want to
we were
share
the
the money
main
with the
source. That's
North.
what I mean. Our
Yeah,
ancestors were the main source of income for the South. They did not want to lose their main source of income. Okay, so it was about freedom, and then the North really wanted to move along black people towards the North so they could work in the steel mills, right? But
right,
the South
right.
wasn't having it, right? So that's really basically what happened. See, people think that Abraham Lincoln was just for the black people and he just wanted to save us and set us free. No, honey, it wasn't about that. It was about money. Okay, we were used as pawns. Right here in 2024, we are still being used as pawns. Black people don't realize that. Okay, and the people that we elect to go up in Washington aren't even letting their own people know what is finna to happen to black people in the United States of America. Now we already talked about the loss of thousands of or potentially was it 2 million federal jobs. Who do you think they're gonna hatch it out first? Not only Democrats, but black people. There are thousands, hundreds of thousands of black Americans that work for the federal government. You best believe they getting the pink slip first.
Mm-hmm.
They getting the pink slip first. But when it comes to Civil War, it's reminiscent of, if you know anything about World War II, it's reminiscent of what they did to the Jews. If you think it can't happen here, like the man say, it ain't gonna be no bloodshed if you gonna comply. So what are black
Now,
people supposed to do?
now,
Submit themselves to the plantation again? Is that
now,
what we're supposed to do?
what about how it is already cooked into the sauce that on day one that they are going to lay off, they're going to remove the F status from the civil service workers, and they are going to have a team of loyalists, 20,000 loyalists. They had changed it from 20,000 to 50,000 loyalists who will go into these jobs.
White
loyalists,
folks.
which means sycophants, which
Yep.
people who support this agenda. They have already trained them to go into these jobs.
Yep.
Did you see that interview that the dude from the Heritage Foundation did with MSNBC, and the things that he said? He said, "Well, no, there's actually more than 50,000 jobs. There's about 2 million civil servants jobs." And he said, "Well, what the?" And then the interviewer said, "Well, what difference does it make? These people have been in their jobs for 20, 30 years, have worked on under many different uh parties, presidents." And he said, well, they're not doing the job right if they're not working under the president, the current president, because they're not serving their agenda. So therefore, you work at the post office, and he said they may have given money to a Democrat candidate sometime in their life. He said, "You mean to tell me you choosing people to take off of their jobs because they?" And he said, "Yeah, because they need to be working on the agenda that's before them, and therefore they need people. They're gonna hand pick these people. So are you gonna be out of a job because they decide to hand pick a person who is just so steadfast on an agenda?" See, this is sound like some Hitler Youth type of shit. They are also they also part of this 2025 thing. They also have a training this in is built into it, this training that is going to train people up in the things that they need to know about how to get jobs in this administration, in this climate, what they expect. That is part of it too. See, they are training. They actually have people that they are going to train into what exactly they want to execute, and they're going to need fresh bodies, so they're going to have to indoctrinate you. That's what it is. They call it training. It's
Which,
called, but
sounds
that's
like
not what
what?
it is.
Which sounds
It,
like who?
it sounds like Hitler Youth.
Thank
That's
you.
what it sounds like. That's what it sounds like.
Thank
Okay,
you.
they're gonna be taking people off their jobs. Do you think that they're gonna be taking Brad off their job, or you think they're gonna be taking Dwayne off his job? Who gonna be losing their job? A postman is a civil service worker. All types of clerical jobs and all types of different jobs are civil service workers. All types of jobs in the government are civil service workers. Not only federal but state jobs. They're gonna take you off your job simply because they have someone else that they want to put in it. This is it. I mean, this is what they really want to do to you.
Can I say this, Ronnie Q?
Hmm.
That part of the thing that made Hitler so popular during World War II is the fact that when it came to the Germans, the Jewish people over there at the time, they were seen as the one that had the most money, because they owned a lot of the shops, and they owned a lot of this and a lot of that, and the everyday Germans were pretty much starving. There was not a lot of work, and so they seen the Jewish is the enemy. They didn't understand why the Jewish people had all this money and they were living so well, and they are German. They're born German over there. Why aren't they doing as well or better as the Jewish people? Since the Jewish people came there, they weren't born there. That was not their land, right? And so Hitler played on that, much like Trump is playing with the white folks. They're saying we're gonna take all these federal jobs away. We're training these people up in the background. We know Hitler was an absolute racist against really basically his own people because his mama was Jewish, but nobody don't want to talk about that either. Okay, so but he had, like you said, he had those youth camps, and first thing he did was when he came into power was take all, like if you were a Jewish person, you had something in the bank, we taking your money away. We are by force removing you from your nice home. We are putting you into a ghetto. I don't mean a hood. I mean a rat infested ghetto where a lot of those poor white people used to live. They moved them out and placed them into these nicer homes and apartments and stuff where the Jewish people had been taken out of, and they put them into a star on they the right of their uniform, and
Right.
placed them into these rat infested ghettos. After that, after they had secured enough of their monies and their their gold, their paintings, and all of this and all that, then they start
Jewelry,
loading them up on
diamonds,
trains. Huh?
their jewelry, their diamonds. Go ahead.
Yeah,
Keep
turned
talking.
them into slaves, so turned them into, like everyday workers. These people were, doctors and lawyers and chemists and all of this and all that. But, you would be working in somebody's house as a maid, or, you would be scrubbing toilets, or, whatever everyday work is that the German people, had to do to just to try to survive, right? They started being made to do, basically, they were enslaved, right? And then we know after that, it got so good because it became so many of them in these ghettos that they start putting them on phase two, was to put them on trains and cart them into these work camps, right? But the world didn't know at first that included in these work camps was gas chambers. And so a lot of men, women, and children didn't even get to work in the work camp and work them to death and starve them to death. They just carted your butt out straight off the train into the gas chamber, and you were murdered. Millions of Jews were done this way. And the reason why I talk about this, because what they say of history, if you don't learn from history, it can repeat itself. Well, what is his name? Donald Trump. He loves Hitler. Okay, he loves Putin. He wants to go further than Vladimir Putin. I can't even say further than Vladimir Putin, because if we see right now, Vladimir Putin is committing genocide on his own people, right? But we know that the Russians have a history of going to war with their own people. When it came back in the
But
1600s.
Olivia, I gotta push
Mhm.
back on that. I
Okay.
really gotta push back on that
Okay.
because of Vladimir Putin is not the only one who loved. Look how they are holding up Benjamin Netanyahu.
Yeah, him
They
too.
don't.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. So
Yeah.
and he
Yeah.
is a they're trying to hold up a Jewish state.
Yeah.
Because they should be able to do anything. Are they forgetting their past?
He committed genocide on his own people too.
Yes, exactly.
So yeah, I agree.
But they are the ones who
Yeah.
they are the ones who be supposed to be so revered because the Holocaust happened to them.
Trump love
See,
him though.
none of it makes sense.
Yeah.
Everybody loves them. They have been upheld by the United States
Absolutely.
forever, no matter what he does. And
Hmm.
look at all that has happened under Biden. That's why a whole lot of people in the
Yeah.
U.S. is not supporting Biden in the first place because they
Yeah.
kept giving them the armor to go over there and fight. And that's why we find ourselves in a precarious position
Yeah.
right now
Yeah.
because look at all these protests
Hmm.
that they had at these colleges and stuff behind this. These are young people who are seeing this.
Yeah.
But what did they do? They went in and thrashed them down here in our state under
Hmm.
our. Okay, so the Supreme Court just ruled that if as long as it happens and it's a presidential act, the president can hire the M16 to go in and unalive a political rival. So wouldn't that be the same for Donald Trump? Wouldn't Biden have those powers right now for
Yeah.
Donald Trump?
Absolutely.
See,
Absolutely.
so let's be clear. Okay, yeah, it's a lot. It's a lot. I want to share this with
Okay.
my
Let me
with
go
you
back.
guys. I'm gonna skip through it a little bit um, because it has a lot of. Let me see. I think this is the one. No. Okay, I'm gonna share this with you guys. I'm gonna skip through it a little bit. Okay. Let me put. I'm gonna put up my banner as well.
For the first 180 days of a conservative presidency. Project 2025, the conservative leadership mandate, is literally a 900-page document that details the plan for the first 180 days of a conservative presidency. Well, actually, Project 2025 is way more than just a document. It's an extremely organized, built out strategy based on 4 pillars. Pillar number 1 is this. This book is called a policy agenda. Mandate for Leadership, the Conservative Promise. Think of this as the policy Bible. I did not come up with that name. The entire book's sole purpose is reshaping federal policy and shifting societal norms in America to align almost exclusively with conservative values. Pillar number 2 is a personnel database where conservative scholars, academics, and policy experts are being compiled. Think about this pillar like a conservative-only LinkedIn. The authors of this policy set a goal to have at least 20,000 recruits already built into the personnel database as a way to have a readily available pool of ideologically aligned people to pull from when it comes to filling all of the positions that they plan to create, fill, or vacate when taking the reins of the government. Again, these are their words, not mine. And they're doing this as a way to streamline the confirmation process. Make sure that there are 0 hiccups. Pillar number 3 is their Presidential Administration Academy. It's an online educational system of training programs specifically for those potential employees under the role of a conservative president. Again, the goal here is speed. They want the ability to just plug and play. Pillar number 4 outlines the transition plans in a 180-day playbook. The 180-day playbook is driven by the policy.
Okay, so I'm gonna move forward. You want to add anything to that, Olivia?
All I want to say is, yeah, absolutely. It's reminiscent of Mein Kampf. All they're doing is following Hitler's book. But go ahead.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I've dropped this. Let me see. Let me go through this.
Policy agenda itself. And so if the policy agenda is the guidebook, then think of the 180-day playbook as the roadmap. These 4 pillars together are what makes up Project 2025. Okay. Thank you. Now I know what Project 2025 means, Asia, but why should I even care about this? What does a conservative promise even mean? Why are you bringing this up? Well, my curious friend, I'm glad you asked. The average age of an empire is 250 years. Can you guess where we are on the calendar? It's okay. Pause this video for a second and do some math from 1776. And then I want you to do with that information what you will. I've been reading this book for the past 3 months, and it's made me realize something interesting, and it's that there are 3 major factions in this space: conservatives, Republicans, and the Christian right.
I've helped non-tech people get into tech and land multiple 6-figure cybersecurity jobs, and
I'm sorry. Let me go forward a little bit.
But there are others that are worried, librarians, teachers.
Hold on. Huh?
I just said I want to see that whole video. I
Yeah.
never seen this video before.
This video. Yeah, I'm gonna drop the link in the back, and I'll drop it in the front chat again. Yes.
Okay.
I've already dropped this link. This breaks this down very, very well. Let me
Yeah. Thank you, Ronnie Q, for
find
bringing it out.
this.
I've never seen this video before. Thank you.
Okay, I have it in the front chat, and I'm gonna put it in the back chat for you as well.
Okay, thank you.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so anything else you want to say about that right now?
No, go ahead. I want to hear what she was saying about the when she had those 3 circles on the board, those 3
Mhm.
facts. And I want to hear what she said about that, because I did want to comment on that.
Oh, about the religious right and all that? Okay,
Yeah,
right here.
right.
Here
Yeah,
we go.
therefore. Mhm.
Want you to do with that information what you will. I've been reading this book for the past 3 months, and it's made me realize something interesting, and it's that there are 3 major factions in this space: conservatives, Republicans, and the Christian right. That's who we need to watch for. I know I'm telling them. That's who we need to be afraid of. They are all different, and it's important to note that they don't always agree. But for the most part, the purpose of this project is to make sure that everyone who identifies with conservative values, meaning on a basic level they share advocacy for limited government, upholding traditional values, supporting national defense and free market principles, is aligned with the 4 conservative promises that are made in this book. The project itself is spearheaded by a conservative think tank known as the Heritage Foundation. Chances are, if there's some major conservative push for a form of legislation, you can bet your bottom dollar that the Heritage Foundation has their hands in it. Everything is in here. They liken transgenderism to pornography and go so far as to say that anybody, even teachers who are distributing types of media that detail this type of pornography, should be jailed and registered as sex offenders. Teachers. While the plan definitely criticizes the normalization of transgenderism, it's important to understand that this is a part of a larger, broader agenda to control cultural and educational narratives. The authors see it as restoring the family as the centerpiece of American life and protecting our children. The way that they plan on doing that is to remove content that is deemed inappropriate by a reasonable person from schools and
So we know they're already doing that in Florida, and
Yep. Yep. Yep.
limiting what type of history that they're going to teach in schools and all of that type of stuff. So we know that agenda is well underway. Good
Yep.
morning, the Sassy Show. Good morning, Pork Chop. All the people who came in. Rachel 703, thank you for being here.
That's right.
Really,
The Handmaid's
is the
Tale. We are here,
handmaid's
Rachel.
tale.
We are absolutely headed for a dystopian society. You are absolutely right.
And
Child.
another thing about what she was saying, um, they they want to jail people. I don't understand. I don't think that a lot of people understand that some of the biggest solutions that they have that they're not even bothering to deal with. They're just like, fuck it, we'll just put people in jail. What is that but a concentration camp? Put you in camps for things like reading a book, having the wrong reading material, traditional family. What has the traditional family always represent? Like they say, they're gonna do away with you being able to just get a no fault divorce, and you're not gonna be able to get married and just like, you're gonna have to have permission from your husband or your state to get unmarried. See, because they want to push this traditional family on you because they feel that the white race is being outbirthed, and that they will be they are expected to be the minority by 2035, and they don't want to do that. So it's a whole lot of stuff that is baked into all of this traditional family. The person who worked on the gay issue, the transgender issue, you can all of those rights and everything that they have gained throughout the years are going to be stripped back in lieu of pushing the traditional family. The person who worked over the gay portion of how they would do that said that a lot of other nations had good ideas by simply putting them in jail. So when I said this one time, Jay Dunn replied, "Well, Ronnie Q, you said that they gonna break up the marriages. Well, I'm not married, and I don't believe in gay marriage. So no, but you believe in gay fucking. You believe in gay relationships. You believe in your gay rights. But see, people wanna nitpick and act like this is not serious. This was not serious to you, then okay." Deal with it. And people want to talk about they don't vote anyway because it don't matter. But you expect for your welfare and your fucking food stamps to be there, but you don't vote. Okay, do that. Okay, Miss Olivia, you want to add anything to that?
Oh no, I absolutely agree with you as far as the gay rights go. That issue. Have you noticed that the real movers and shakers when it comes to the LGBTQ the communities are the white ones, right? They're
Oh
the ones
yes.
that wield the real power. And they put the black folks up on the front line to be stupid or whatever, right? But the
Hmm.
real ones, and we know that there is racism in between, even in the gay community, because a lot of gay black people in particular have come out and
Hmm.
talked about it, right?
Oh
And so
yes.
if you notice, they're really quiet about this, and you have to understand. I think they're even now starting to go underground, if you would ask me, that because they know what's coming, and we know at the end of the day, when it comes to white people, they will try to rally up against it, but at the end of the day, they're going to acquiesce because they're gonna know that it benefits them, and we know that at the end of the day they always side with one another. We are the ones that are always separated from one another, okay? Because we are the ones, some of us are the ones that are still believing that the white man ISIS cover. Cover. Look at Scott up there, Tim Scott or whatever his name, looking like the most bozoest of clowns up there, backing Trump. I'm thinking, idiot, they're gonna pop your butt first. You gay and you a black man. Okay, why you trying to hide it? Child, anyway, but
Exactly.
yeah, that's what I got to say
Exactly.
about that. Go
With
go ahead on
with
emotion
this
and
with
answer.
this phantom wife that
Yeah,
he's going. Oh my God. Okay,
yeah.
let's continue.
Hmm.
Phantom fiance, should I say?
libraries and only allow materials that reflect conservative values. There's a new bill in West Virginia that says librarians can be charged if it's found that they shelve educational content or books that they've deemed inappropriate. And there's some people who think that this bill will keep kids safe, but there are others that are worried librarians, teachers, education providers run the risk of being charged or getting blamed unfairly just for having a wide array of books available, which could include useful educational content. This personally stresses me out because I hate the thought of librarians being afraid to offer certain material affecting what I have the ability to read or learn about. Several states have already either removed criminal liability exemptions for public and school libraries, or they've already started expanding the definition of what they see as obscenity to capture a wider array of books. That could potentially result in criminal charges for simply having them on the shelves. Imagine your health teacher being arrested for teaching sex ed. Please don't think this is coming. This is already happening. If you're worried about the lack of action on climate change, it's because they're already focusing on how they can benefit from things like permafrost. It's not a
Okay, so they also want to repeal away a lot of protections. They want to do away with the EPA, the Department of Education, all of these things. Yeah, they want to do away. They want to get out of the climate. What was that? Climate change. Olivia, you there?
I'm here. Sorry about that.
Yeah, they want to get out of the Paris climate change agreement and all of that. They want to stop working on anything as far as saving the planet, reducing our carbon footprint. You know what they say? They say, well, if we do that, it just dulls the mind for people to come up with more creative ways to adapt.
No, they doing it because they want to bring back stuff like coal mining for these poor like Appalachian Mountain type communities. That's what they want to do.
No, they listen. I don't even think they give a fuck about it. But see, the thing about that is, see, they don't want to be regulated. They don't want these corporations are the people who have funded this, has funded this Project 2025. See, they just want to make money. See, they don't want to spend money to ensure that their waste runoff don't go into rivers and ocean and then sit up and poison. They don't want any liability for the things. They don't want to do the cleanup. They just want to make the money, and they don't care what happens. See, because they can go anywhere they want to. Their money can travel with them anywhere they want to. You guys deal with the dirty air, all this sludge leaching into our freshwater ways and systems and all this type of stuff. Do you know it took us 30 years to clean up a lot of this old industrial waste that has been in our water system? Do you know how long that waste and all those waste products stay in marshlands and all of this stuff for centuries? Okay, and they're just so that's what that's about.
Yes, about the money. I agree with you. And then a perfect example of what could they got a breakdown of infrastructure, right? Because they're not concerned about infrastructure, right? Because you got to be concerned about how to regulate the industry, and all these toxic things that they don't want to regulate anymore. Next thing to come is what? Infrastructure, right? Like the water system. Like we remember what happened in what was it? Detroit? What was it at? When all those
Flint,
Michigan, right? Now, the thing that they didn't want to talk about was the water that was dirty and is still dirty. Was funneled through these black communities and stuff. But a little bit, go the further out you go, the less they had to deal with the contamination, right? So just think about this big business and think about Flint, Michigan, and think about your predominantly black communities when it comes to something as basic as clean drinking water. What do you think is going to happen then, right? So they don't have to move. They feel like they don't have to move, black people that are already in the hoods, predominantly black communities. They don't have to move them out because they don't want to be there anyway unless they want to take over the land and gentrify it. But they already in their ghettos. They just got to make them even worse, right? But the people that they got to cut off on the trains is a more affluent or when they once were considered middle class you know, black people that are sprinkled, you know, all over the country, right? But you know what's scary to me, even more than that, not even more than that, but I find it interesting that nobody is talking about what they're planning on doing to the indigenous, a lot of the indigenous Indian communities. They are wanting to frack on their land, which is what which means they're wanting to you know, to just funnel and go deeper and deeper for oil on their
No,
land. Now, these are
fracking is for natural gas. You get natural
but they
gas
want
out
to
of
do
fracking.
fracking, and but they want to do the oil thing and the fracking is they
Okay.
want to do the
Okay.
fracking, but then but you're right about that. But they will also want. But what is it they call when they go down deeper than they're supposed to go down for oil? Whatever you call it, that's what they're wanting to do on some of these indigenous Indian lands, and they're the people that are on those lands are trying to you know, protest and boycott against it, but you're not seeing that on the news. You know what I mean?
Okay.
And so once
This
again, they are invading these people's land.
And that's another thing about that. You know, the waste that comes from fracking, a lot of, you know, they have this thing that they put on the drill tip, and it has a lot of toxic waste on that. Uh, they have just gotten to the point where they have reined in these companies from throwing those bags just anywhere, having to pay to get someone to properly get rid of those bags. I watched a story how the people from the fracking companies were leaving those bags and all of that dust that has all of those contaminants just on the site, just spread out wherever they are, dumping them in near lakes and rivers and all of this type of stuff. They had to put a stranglehold on them, the EPA, to make sure that they got rid of this dangerous waste. So none of that is going to be into play. So let's go on a little further, Olivia, on this. I want to get through a couple of her points. Like I said, I dropped a video. I'm not going to play her whole video. I may skip through it. Oh, and freedom of speech online and being able to hop on social media to spread knowledge would end as well. Uh, the reason why it's going to end because they want to get rid of the part of the FBI that police misinformation. So they are going to allow any type of misinformation. You know, there was a big thing to get things off of Facebook that wasn't fact. They were taking misinformation off. No, they want you to be misinformed. See, because a dumb constituent is a pliable constituent, and the dumber you are, and that's why they want to dismantle education, because they need a dumb public to go into these things, believe these things, and be able to find any type of supporting stuff to back up these dumb fake beliefs. Okay.
Yeah, Ronnie
Okay.
Q, can I comment real fast on the education? What they want to do with that
Mm-hmm.
also?
Mm-hmm.
Well, we've been having a big debate down here in Tennessee about the vouchers for the private school vouchers. And what they want to do is pretty much defund, severely cripple, to the point to where you don't even have to defund public education. It's crippled by these vouchers. When it comes to these kids, because for every voucher a child gets going into into a private school, it's taking monies away
The
from
public
the
school.
public school system, right? And so my thing is, what's really going on is they want to make it harder for a child, especially a child that can afford private school education, to even get an education. Do you see what I'm saying? So what does that mean for the black community? If you can't garner, and you have to be chosen into these, they just ain't gonna hand them out like water. You have to be chosen to give them one of these vouchers, right? So if they're choosing, you have to be chosen, number one, to say they totally defunded the public school system, right? And if you have to be chosen, do you think how many black kids do you think are going to be chosen to give in one of these vouchers, right? So when you talk about dumbing down people. Now, not only has our public school system been dumbing down these children for years, because a lot of these kids don't even teach cursive in school anymore. Do you see what I'm
Correct.
saying? How to tie your
Yes.
shoe, how to read an analog clock, or any of those things, right? So, what do you think is going to happen to a state of mind, like in Tennessee, if they crippled the public school system to the point to where there is no more money to provide these public school services, and the only way you can be educated, unless your family is educating you, the only way to be formally educated is to get a voucher. Now, if you can't get a voucher, right, what are you going to do as far as a public education, right? So that is the plan. In a state like mine. That's what's
Yeah,
going on.
that's a plan in a lot of states.
Yeah,
That's why a lot of states are, and
yeah,
that's why a lot of states are against these voucher systems, and
yeah,
that's why
yeah,
Trump had Bessie
yeah,
DeVois as the over the Department of Education,
yeah.
and she is a
Mhm.
big was it Bessie DeVois, I think it was Betsy,
Yeah,
and
I know what you're talking about.
she
Yeah,
is a big proprietor, has a lot of friends, owns a lot of private schools. She was against the Department of Education that he had her over. So they're going to put somebody in places to dismantle these institutions, and it
that's
is
right.
in this Project 25 agenda. That
Yeah,
is one of the things that they want to dismantle. See,
that's right. It's
okay,
public education.
okay.
It's
Let's
basic.
go forward. Let's go forward a little bit.
Priority. How can we make money off of this? In fact, Project 2025 explicitly aims to end all current climate change efforts. It's advocating for a complete reversal of initiatives like the Paris Climate Change Agreement. It goes real hard about making sure that we know that America's energy interests are going to take a huge priority over any environmental concerns. This plan includes everything, including ways to expand operations in places like Alaska in order to better harvest its rare earths, natural gases, and oils. It even includes plans about Antarctica, where the authors plan on capitalizing on things like shipping and tourism in the area. It'll be a no going back shift towards fully exploiting natural resources for economic growth, as well as abandoning pretty much all climate change mitigation efforts. I'm going to quote the policy agenda directly here for a second, which refers to...
Okay, let me go a little further. So I talked about that. Okay.
Fine. They're trying to get rid of all DEI, diversity, equity, inclusion language from all legislature, all of it, except for religion. They want vast, robust protections for religion. Yes, the goal is to eliminate what they see as indoctrination from anti-American woke revolutionaries, divisive critical race theory programs, and DEI initiatives from all educational and governmental institutions. The authors believe that talking about race in nearly all capacities creates an inferiority complex. This is again a part of a larger effort to promote a conservative agenda and push certain conservative perspectives, ideals, and values. Some of the recommendations the authors provide include vast protections for religion and religious tax exemptions.
Hey, I'm Christy. I run a system setup
Commercial.
company, and I'm also a digital nomad. One of my favorite
Question for you, class. In what timeline should we have pastors whose net worth is close to $1 billion?
He made that airplane so cheap for me, I couldn't help but buy it.
It calls for issuing executive orders banning the use of equity-focused language, basically throughout all instances of public office and private sectors. It also calls for Congress passing a law prohibiting the federal government from using taxpayer dollars to fund critical race theory training. This is already happening. There's a venture capitalist fund called the Fearless Fund that was created solely to fill the gap of less than 1% of venture capital recipients being Black women, despite Black women being the fastest growing group of entrepreneurs. The group has been hit with a lawsuit from the conservative group American Alliance for Equal Rights. They aim to bleed the fund dry, and it's working. It's working as intended. Do you also find it funny that there were no lawsuits presented when less than 1% of the population was being provided the same opportunities as other populations? I find it funny, but not like in a ha-ha way.
Less than 1% of this money is going to Black women who are entrepreneurs, but they are suing because they for equality in only less than 1% of Black women are getting this. They don't want you to get that. They do not want you to be able to survive, to set up a business in the United States of America. They are suing behind that. What do you say about that, Olivia?
I say that I'm not surprised. What they want to do is that what do you say, part of the Make America Great agenda, and they want to put us back. They want to set us back hundreds of years, in my opinion. And I am amazed that more white women are not speaking up about this, because they also want to take all of those suffragette agendas away from white feminism, right? So if they're not speaking out about it now, they're going to be speaking about it soon, because part of Make America Great Again, a Project 2025, is they want more traditional families, making it harder for you to do have a divorce. They've already taken away the woman's right to choose what she wants to do with her body as it pertains to her her ovarian health. I put it that way. They're gonna make you have a baby, okay? Whether you want to, and then you got Black women on the front line, picketing and all this and all. Don't y'all know they don't care about if y'all have a baby or not? It's not about y'all, because they're trying to kill y'all babies in the hospital. It's about them white women, because like Ronnie Pugh said, their population numbers are dwindling. Okay, it's about them. That's what that anti-abortion bill was about.
And you're not going to be allowed to get a divorce, and who, even from a man who may be in there dwindling you and your daughters. And what would happen if your daughter gets pregnant by some type of incest? They're gonna have to have that baby too, because we need these bodies.
Yeah, they need, and they see it trickle down and affects other ethnicities and races of people, but it's all about the white race. They're trying to build up their numbers by any means necessary. That's what's really going on, but they really don't give a damn about Black folks and Hispanics and all of this and all of that. Do you see what I'm saying? They want to make it to where the white male patriarchy is the head of everything once again. Okay, because they are so insecure about themselves. That's the way they feel like they got to do it.
So let's go on a little bit further in this. Okay, I'm trying to get to something. Let me see. Okay.
First and foremost, the U.S. must prevent Iran from acquiring nuclear technology and delivery capabilities, and more broadly block Iranian ambition. While focusing on foreign policy, specifically on the broader Middle Eastern strategy, Project 2025 pushes for a continuation of conservative emphasis on national security and energy dominance. The policy agenda specifically states that if an internal organization is effective and advances American interests, then the U.S. should support it. If an international organization is not effective and does not advance American interests, then the U.S. will not support it. Make no mistake here. This is important for you to understand as an American. There is a commitment to supporting allies like Israel, no matter which president we have. We already know that this is a strategic priority focused exclusively on maintaining influence and access to resources in the region. Policy agenda also calls for the Palestinian Authority to be defunded, as well as prioritizing keeping Turkey in the Western fold as a NATO ally to prevent any hedging towards Russia or China. When it comes to Africa, the authors of the policy recognizes the abundance of resources that Africa offers.
After I liberate the Jewish people, I will go to Africa to help liberate the Black people.
It also recognizes that lately, as Africa's strategic influence has grown, U.S. influence there has declined.
Sub-Saharan Africa.
Okay, so you think that Netanyahu wants to liberate Black people. So how did he liberate the Palestinians? Do you hear this?
How the hell you gonna liberate Black people from their own goddamn country? The only way you do that is to kick all the foreigners out. So are they gonna go over there and aid in that?
No, look, but I need you to hear this. I need you to hear this man right here. This man is saying, now you got all of these people, the most mineral rich country in the world, and you got all these other nations in there building up communities that even Black people can live in, these Chinese communities. Okay, so this is what this man is saying. He said Africa has to stay poor for the world to be rich. He's talking about sub-Saharan Africa. So you must keep the Africans poor. You know, these when they go in these different countries in Africa and make deals with their um flawed dictators and things like that, and just promise them money, and the people get absolutely nothing. So that is the plan. So let's see what he says.
Has been fundamental to the global prosperity of the advanced countries. Okay. And
fundamental to the the global prosperity of rich companies.
It also
countries.
recognizes that lately, as Africa's strategic influence has grown, U.S. influence there has declined.
Sub-Saharan Africa has been fundamental to the global prosperity of the advanced countries. Okay, and Africa had a role to play. It has a role as a raw material producer. We will not allow Sub-Saharan Africa to escape that. Okay, we do everything to keep Sub-Saharan Africa where it is, also impoverished. It's absolutely vital for the prosperity of everyone else. So let's get clear about that. Okay.
Let's get clear about that. It must stay impoverished for everyone else to be rich. Let's be clear about that. There's no misunderstanding.
But do you know why? Do you know why?
Because they're going to take all their riches out of there.
No, because there is the largest concentration of black people right there. So if they keep them segregated and impoverished and, and hungry and having to scrape for every little thing that they get, they feel that they will be too weak to wage war on, like you said, these countries where they have been overpopulated by the Germans and the French and repopulated by
and the Chinese.
In the U.S. and this and that, every other place except for black people. Now they got scared when oh my God, what is his name? He died. Took away all that farmland from them white landowners, gave it back to his people. They started to through an uprising then.
Oh yeah,
Petty passed away. What is his man's name? I can't think of his name right now. They started to fear that they feared an uprising, right? So, the thing is that they really don't want to talk about. It ain't even about when it comes to this one world government. You will never see a atomic bomb, missile, or anything strike the continent of Africa. And why is that? Because the continent of Africa is the real reason why. The real reason why, in my opinion, is not, of course, you get, the pilfer all the gold and all this and all that, but at the end of the
uranium.
Day, when it all is said and done, the continent of Africa is the only continent that is rooted to this earth, right? So at the end of the day, when all else fails, every other continent on the planet can be destroyed. But if you destroy the continent of Africa, the earth will, civilization as we know it, will cease to exist.
Well,
and so that's why everybody wants to make a stronghold. That's why everybody wants to pilfer it.
I think they want to. I just think they want power. I mean,
power. Yes.
They have been accustomed to these wealthy people always looking for more. And somebody, I think it was Beans and Cornbread in my chat, who said that if you think Project 2020 is bad. No, Mandela didn't give back the land. Robert Mugabe.
Yes, Mugabe. Yeah. Thank you. It was Mugabe. Absolutely.
Beans and Cornbread. Okay, I think it was Beans and Cornbread who also said that if you think Project 2025 is bad, there is a project, what was it, 2030 or something? And it is connecting all of this type of governance to a big world agenda where there is going to be new world order.
New world order, one world government. They call them
one world government. Yes. The first time that the New World Order was mentioned was during COVID-19. The Prime Minister of Australia, in his restrictions of them leaving their houses and stuff. And he said that his people were going to have to get used to a new world order. So that was the first time that was actually used in the public as a actual phrase that so that is definitely a thing, and they're definitely trying to tap into that. Was that you, Agenda 2030. Amalia said Agenda 2030. Now, I have not even looked in on that because I am just so like up in arms behind this. So
Yeah.
I will be bringing you more on that. See, that is the that dirty
Yeah.
low down Klaus Schwab. Okay,
Hmm.
let me see.
Well, can I
Remember
say
when
this,
the
Ronnie, to
store
you that
snatched
when
all the seed?
Mhm.
Remember when the store snatched all the seeds off the shelf a few years ago? Yes, I do, Butter Pecan, and they filled the shelves with modified GMO seeds that you will have to buy every year. Your plants will not your fruits and vegetables and plants will not produce any seeds the next year. My grandmother used to have a garden that was huge, and she would seize her own. She hardly ever had to go buy seeds unless she just wanted to try something different, because your fruits and vegetables will not seed themselves, thus keeping you you cannot be independent. You're going to have to be on the radar some type of way. Okay, go ahead, Miss Olivia.
Oh, all I was wanting to say was when it comes to what they're calling Agenda 2030, a lot of people have been talking about, even before this Project 25, what people don't realize what Donald Trump is trying to do is when it comes to the one world order, he is right to try to close the borders to this country. He's doing it the wrong way, but he is right, because when it comes to this one world order, the superpowers, this most superest of powers, which is not us anymore, are the ones that are going to have the control over this one world order, meaning that everybody is going to fall under the greatest superpower, which is not us anymore. So, but he think that he can smooth his way in and kiss the butt of who he thinks is going to be, the one controlling superpower. But he also wants to close his country off and thinking that we won't have to be, white folks won't have to be subjected to this one world order plan. See, that is what he's trying to do, but he's going about it the wrong way. And did you know that even Switzerland is not neutral anymore? Switzerland has even joined NATO. That's how bad this one world order thing, how fast it's coming to fruition.
Okay.
So yeah, Switzerland is
So
not even neutral anymore.
so let's continue.
Okay.
So they want to shift their strategy from assistance to growth. Some of the tactics that they want to use to do this include phasing out humanitarian aid, the recognition of Somaliland statehood, and a focus on supporting American companies that are involved in industries that are important to America's interests, or those that already have a competitive advantage in Africa.
Okay, let's
What
go
they
to
wanted
next.
achieved based upon having it all laid out already. 60% of Reaganomics was already laid out. Indeed,
Okay, so now she's talking about why they want to achieve this in 120 days, 180 days. They're giving this Project 25 to be fully up and enacted in the first 120 days of the new presidency. So now what she is telling you is 60% of Reaganomics was already written and in play before they even introduced it as a thing, and that was the trickle down economics that only trickled up to the rich and only enriched the richest of the people in the United States. So they already have they already know that they can set this stuff up and come in with it already together and just plug it in, and it will work because of what they did with Reaganomics. Here she's explaining it.
But do you know what's even more trash-like in nature? The realization that the Reagan administration's success in implementing such a large chunk of the ideas from Mandate for Leadership showcases the impact of them having such detailed planning. 60% of Reaganomics was all it took for us to arrive here, still waiting for our trickles, the middle class all but disappearing into an in-between space where American and blue-collar workers are paying higher tax rates than millionaires. This is why we're talking about this today, class, because this isn't just a bunch of fanatics writing manifestos. Don't be so dismissive. We're getting put on game up front. Project 2025 aims to replicate that success. But peep this. You don't need a time machine or a flux capacitor to take you back to dropkick baby Reagan into another profession to undo the damage done by his administration, because you have this book that is highlighting the strategic importance of these documents and the impact that they have in shaping conservative administrations. It's right here. It's right in front of us. You know, in the movies, when one of the main characters is geeked to unveil their plan to take people, but in actuality, it also makes me wonder, if every state's allowed to teach something different, how will we ever close the gap on the very real problem that is America's revisionist history? Also, it makes me wonder about if you're in a poorer state with lower home ownership. Less home ownership means less property taxes, which funds schools. How might that impact the quality of the education you receive overall? This one's for extra credit. Take this time to guess how the top 10 poorest states in the nation tend to vote.
Tennessee, South Carolina, Oklahoma, Alabama, Arkansas, Kentucky, West Virginia, New Mexico, Louisiana, and Mississippi. Mississippi being the 10th poorest, and Mississippi being the poorest. They overwhelmingly vote Republican. So therefore, these ideas, there's less money going into their school. Olivia, you were just talking about that, but they vote against their own interests.
Yep, you're absolutely right. That's what we were talking about. You notice all the southern states on the thing. Part of the reason why this sounds stupid to even come out your mouth, but there are several white Southerners think that the South is going to rise again. Okay, and when the South rises again, all will be well. They will be wealthy again, and their life will be easy again. They won't have to live in these trailers and work hard, like everyday Americans again. But how do you think that they plan on garnering this easy way of life again, since the South is going to rise again? How do you think they're going to go about that?
Okay, so yeah, that revisionist history. That's why they don't want to teach real history. Revisionist history is vital in erasing every history except for which is Euro-based.
Yeah. But when it comes to the Civil War, just let me say this. Do you think that Black people in the South are just going to give up everything they own and report to your nearest plantation? Do you think that is going to happen?
Well, they are going to have to do that, or they're going to have to fight and die. And
that's right, exactly what they're going to do: fight and fucking die. A lot of us, not all of us, some of us.
But the best person that Black people fight is each other. So they already know that, and that's why the systems have been set up this way. Yeah. So
why do you think that Trump wants to issue out the first 180 days of martial law, or the first 120, or whatever it is when it comes to the Project 25? Those first 100 and something days are going to be implementing martial law. Okay. Now, when it comes to the South, here I'm gonna have to talk about that on my own channel because it's a long story. But just know that just cause you hear Black folks not getting along and Black folks not we fight each other harder than we fight the white man. There was one point in time when we didn't have a choice, not because we wanted to, but because we had to stick together. Okay? And you best believe me, if you tell my people that we supposed to report to the nearest plantation, and you think my people is gonna just ride on down to that nearest plantation without any fight, you got life messed up. That ain't gonna have work. That ain't how it work around here. Okay? I'm just saying. That's why he want to implement some type of martial law, because everybody ain't going. We have just as many guns as they do. We cannot combat a military force like the martial law, but you can do what you got to do. Ain't nobody gonna volunteer to be a 2020 version of a fucking slave. Like, who the fuck does that? Those people are weird. As long as you comply, there won't be no bloodshed. Okay. All right.
Okay, who's gonna?
They're already down here trying to show a force. I'm sorry, Ronnie Q, but let me just say this, and I ain't gonna say nothing else. But they call themselves making a show of force when they marched down Nashville the other day with their white supremacy shit. Don't nobody give a fuck about that for real. Okay.
But Olivia, they got no pushback.
They didn't know they didn't get no only from the Jews. You know why they didn't get no pushback from the black people? Because when worse come to worse, we got just as many guns as they do. You ain't got to say it to be with it. But if you come in my house, if you come on my property with that bullshit, I'm gonna do my best to fuck you up.
But Olivia, it doesn't matter because they got no pushback. It doesn't matter.
It don't matter. Black people. Let me tell you something, Ronnie Q. Black people in the South realize that there is not enough pushback that when it comes to being the South and racism is its own entity down South. And unless you lived in the midst of it, you can never understand. The black people in Nashville felt like, well, what the fuck? And ain't no use of us saying nothing, but what they're not gonna do is fuck with me. So that's why the Jewish pushed back. But did you hear the NAACP or anybody say any goddamn thing? No, because guess what? We used to this bullshit. This ain't the first time this done happened for us. It ain't never not been racism in the South. That is what I'm trying to tell people.
Amala, you here?
I'm here.
It's different.
Okay, I just want to move forward a little bit.
Ooh, I'm so sorry. I got so passionate about that.
I get it. I get it. Yeah, I visited the South a lot in my younger years.
Yeah, you got to live here. You got to realize what the fuck is going on and how the politics works around here. Do you see what I'm saying? But I don't want nobody listening to me think that we're gonna lay fucking down and like I said, report to the nearest fucking plantation. That ain't how it moves down here.
Okay, Livia, let's.
I'm sorry.
I just want to get forward in this a little.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I apologize.
Okay, I no, don't apologize. I understand your compassion. I'm just, and why do you think they always want to do gun buybacks in our communities? They don't want you to have no gun. A dude in Florida, a legal gun owner was just shot and unalived by the police. And because anytime they see you with one, they see you as a criminal. But they can walk around with them right on their hip, and they don't think nothing about you. Like what are you looking at me crazy? So let's be clear. The game is.
And can we talk about how they view gangbangers? Can they talk about how they view our young black men? They try to criminalize young black gangs and all this not, but in the very near future, those may turn out to be your fucking freedom fighters, okay? So don't go so hard on it. All right.
Very well, maybe. Okay, let's go a little further. Amalia, hold on for a second.
Okay, I'm listening for a bit.
I applied to over 200 tech jobs and got rejected from.
Hold on 1 second.
Sure that schools comply with the colorblind ideal. It's asking that the next administration create a parent's bill of rights that schools have to abide by. And in this bill of rights includes the right to support and provide relief to parents who sue educational institutions for teaching or talking about critical race theory or teaching American history in any capacity that isn't celebratory of its total awesomeness. I'm not kidding. They're arguing that teaching America's full history is equivalent to defending the false idea that America is systemically not as nice to some people as it is to other people. And to do so, to even teach that, is a violation of the parents' rights, and the parent should be allowed to sue with support of the federal government because of that. No problem with parents having rights, but for me, wait, how exactly does creating multiple realities through historical fiction create alignment, remove division, and better our country overall? I'm still waiting on that answer too, young Padawan. I'm still waiting on that answer too. Oh, by the way, this too is also happening. So I challenge young people to read this, post about it, talk about it, discuss it. To be totally fair, there are some things in the policy agenda that I agree with and can empathize with when I put myself in the shoes of a conservative. But what I have found is that it is often very short-lived because of the potential implications of such broad overreach that you start to realize is sure to happen by giving the president ultimate power in the way that this policy agenda suggests, specifically with the minimization of so many checks and balances. A lot of the plans outlined in this book are rooted in the taxpayer not paying attention. And I don't know about you, but I hate when a company's thinks that it started the flood. Pay attention. This part is called the call to action, but for you, my friend, we will call it how to feel less helpless, aka ACT. I'm not here to make you angry. As I said earlier, there are a few things in this agenda that I'm actually on board with. I'm not trying to stoke your rage.
Why do you lay these troubles on an already troubled mind?
That's not what we're going to do. There's people who have a vested interest in you rotting. Stop it. You're not as powerless as you think. Step 1, make a new email specifically for your activism so you don't get overwhelmed. Step 2, make a Reddit post or meetup group to meet people in your area who also want to feel less helpless. Doesn't have to be like-minded people. It's okay to challenge your views and learn. Don't be afraid to learn. Step 3, register to vote. Step 4, register to vote. Step 5, register to vote. No, I'm serious. Pop quiz. Let's pretend you were an American citizen who wanted to fully exercise their voting rights in America. How many elections should you be voting in every few years? Did you guess at least 7? Because if you did, you were right. You should be voting in 7 or more elections to fully exercise your voting rights as an American citizen. If you don't have at least 7 elections under your belt, I'm sorry, baby. Now is not the time for rotting. 7? Where did you get 7 from? So you know the big ones, the federal elections. These are held every 2 to 4 years. Your presidential election held every 4 years. You vote for the president and the vice president, obvi. Then you have your congressional. Okay, I skipped poli-sci. What is Congress even made up of? I'm glad you asked, Boo. The condensed version is Congress is made up of 2 parts, the House and the Senate. The House of Representatives is made up of members who are elected based on the population of 50 states. Each state is divided into districts, and each district elects 1 representative. The total number of representatives is 435. These guys serve 2 terms, with all seats up for election every 2 years. The House is responsible for bringing revenue bills, impeaching federal officials, and electing the president in the case of electoral college ties. Do you see why it might be important that the person representing your district has your best interests at heart? Next, we have the Senate. The Senate consists of 100 senators, meaning there's 2 senators per state. These guys serve 6-year term, but they're staggered so that there are elections every 2 years. Their powers include the ability to ratify treaties, confirm presidential appointments, and conduct impeachment trials where they act as the jury. All bills must pass Congress before they go to the president to be signed into law. You also have your state elections. These are going to vary by state, but this is going to be your gubernatorial elections. I like that word, gubernatorial. But that's who you're electing for your government. Typically, this is every 4 years, but check your state. Then you have your state legislature elections. You have statewide offices like Secretary of State, the Attorney General. And then closing out state, you have the primaries, which are to figure out who is going to be running for president of the United States. Media will make it seem as if it's already a shoo-in or that it's set in stone, but it isn't until it is. Step 6, shop local. Local elections are going to have the most immediate impact on your day-to-day life. Get extremely interested in what is going on in your immediate space. That county clerk who's able to prove or deny your marriage license based off of their religious views, electable. That sheriff whose officers seem to have a problem with keeping their body cams on, electable. That judge who's more interested in policing teenage hair instead of serving the needs of the community, electable. That DA who rarely prosecutes insider political crimes, electable, electable, totally electable. Are you awake yet?
All right, so I'm gonna drop the link one more time for this video. I think that this is an important video for you guys to peruse, and now let's talk about it. Amalia, what do you want to add?
Wow. Let's start with Agenda 2030. Part of that agenda is, if you go back, you can find it on the internet, by the way. If you want to read over it, you can Google it, and it is like, it's over 400 pages. It's like very condensed. And this has been going on since the inception of this country. There was Agenda 2025, Agenda 2019, Agenda 2020. And it goes on and on and on and so on and so forth. There's also an Agenda 2035. And all it is it's an agenda to roll back all of the accomplishments that have occurred in the world and to create a new world order where there will be one world government, there will be one leader. All countries in the world will fall under the leadership of this one leader. You'll see borders starting to close. You see it now where countries are starting to expel people that don't belong, non-citizens or non-residents. You're seeing people, they're beginning to be sent home by the leadership in each nation. Like, I think China was kicking out Africans. Nigeria is kicking out Chinese. You're starting to see this happening all over the world. I mean, it's just a lot of stuff going on.
They started kicking out the Africans during COVID. You see,
yes. Yeah, that's part of it. They you see them kicking out people that don't belong there. Get out, you don't belong here. And they use that kind of language to make you think that it's a discriminatory practice, when in actuality it's a part of Agenda 2030. So they want to have all of this stuff done. Like they have like what do you call those when you have a plan, like an earmark or a I'm not thinking, I'm not coming up with the right word, but you have like certain areas where, okay, by this amount of time we should have this done, and that's what Agenda 2030 is. And this also a part of it is rolling back agricultural accomplishments, rolling back environmental things such as like electricity, power. So now you're going to start seeing legislature coming down where people will have to actually have electric cars. There's going to be laws where you actually have to have an electric car or you'll be fined. You can't have gas, a gas operated car. You'll be fined. It's starting to happen in California right now. There's also things with the school system. It affects every aspect of your life. I mean, every aspect of your life. I was talking about the agricultural thing, where companies like Monsanto going in and creating seeds that don't produce. They produce fruit that don't produce seeds. You know, you want to.
Yeah, we talked about all this, Amalia, but what you gotta get to a point, Amalia.
That's what I'm
What's
saying.
your
That's all of it encompasses 2030. Everything.
Okay.
That's my point. That's what I was saying.
No. I just didn't want to. I'm not trying to be curt, but I just wanted to get the overall arching point of this.
I don't get that from you at all. No, you're good. I just wanted you to know you were talking about that agenda, and I'm glad you brought it up because I want us as a people to really get in there and read it and try to get with each other and understand it and interpret it amongst ourselves because it really affects Black people. It really affects us.
Olivia, you want to add anything to that?
Yeah, I just want to say that unfortunately, a lot of Black people, see now our Black people do get in there and read, right? And so a lot of us, because we lived in the land of side swipe and everything, you're going to be thrown into a situation that you are not used to, that you are not ready for, right? But there are those Black people that are preparing and making provisions, right? So what you should do, if you are privy to just even looking at the news and can critically think, is at least try to devise some type of plan, right? At least look out and at least pay attention to what's going on. At least watch for the signs, because you don't want somebody to just come in and be able to mow you down or hem you up and do you any kind of way that they want to do you, because our ancestors fought long and hard because they brought us in this country and they never wanted us to be anything but workers in this country, right? But our blood is in this soil, and you will be a fool to just march yourself over onto whatever it is they want you to do next. That's
okay,
my
hold on. I have someone in the back. I am her.
Yes, this is me. I just want to know if I'm putting things in the chat that add to the conversation. That
no,
is
you're
not.
not, because I see that stuff that you put down there. What
If I say I choose not to be.
All right. Go ahead. Let me share something with you guys as well. You know, a lot of people didn't know anything about this Project 25 at all. It got on a lot of the radar of a lot of young people because they actually heard Taraji P. Henson talk about it. And it kind of like blew up. It went viral in a lot of people because they up until this point hadn't heard anything about it. And remember when before the debate, one of the questions somebody said that they wanted to know is if they were going to talk about Project 2025, and not one question was about Project 2025. And now since it has gone viral, Trump is trying to pretend like he doesn't even know what Project 2025 is. It's not even he doesn't know any of their policy agendas, or I don't know anything about that. But most of his last cabinet members and cronies are in the think tank with Heritage Foundation. Let's be clear. So let me share this one thing with you as well. Let me share something. It's just it's not a long clip. I will drop the link for the whole video. Let me share this with you. Okay, here we go. I would suggest, if you guys haven't gone to this guy's page, that you definitely go over there and check out the information that he's given. So let me see. No, this isn't indisputable. No, that's not what this is.
I did a video on Project.
It's his channel is the Defiant Lawyers.
Yeah, I see that. Yeah, I'm sorry. I thought
7 months ago. Over 7 months ago. But I'm grateful that folks are beginning to get up to speed on Project 2025. So this is no secret. This is not fear-mongering. I'm merely reporting or sharing with you what they have already said.
Yep.
All right. Now, and just to show you Trump's mentality, we all remember Liz Cheney, a former Republican congresswoman from Wyoming, I think. She was one of 2 Republicans who sat on the January 6th commission and found that Trump broke laws and inspired an insurrection. For that, she has become an arch enemy to Trump. And that's just the type of thing an autocrat, a dictator would do. So to go at their critics. And that's what he has actually said. You see the pictures of her here. And one of them has a bull's eye on it. And yes, Trump has a bull's eye on Liz Cheney. And then he put on his social media platform, look at how crazy this is. Elizabeth Lynn Cheney is guilty of treason. Liz Cheney did nothing to our country. What is he talking about? Yet he sees him.
Oh, and what he did not finish stating that this she is guilty of treason. And if what is it says I don't know what the line is going through it. If you want televised military tribunals. So he is saying that should there be a televised military tribunal for Liz Cheney for being one of 2 Republicans who sat on that January 6th committee. Okay, so let's be clear. So the Supreme Court has already given him the powers that if it's done under his presidential authorities, that he can take out a political rival. How scary is this? And this is the first thing that he chooses to tweet out. He has a whole agenda for different press outlets and media. So why do you think the media is not reporting unfavorably towards him? Because he has been giving this freedom and he's already taken it, but yet and still the Biden administration is not taking it.
The next Hitler. Did you hear what happened to a Supreme Court Justice Sonia Sotomayor? Was it yesterday?
No, I didn't.
So the reports say, and we know this ain't true, because we remember what happened to Nancy Pelosi's husband. That Trump supporter, invaded their home and almost killed the man. Was Justice Sotomayor they said a carjacker, they were involved in a carjacking, and that but her guards killed the carjacker. Right now, we know that Justice Sotomayor is against the Trump agenda. Sotomayor is against it, and the black woman, and it's one other man that are against Trump's agenda. So that we know that in reality, this was not some kind of carjacking, some kind of random carjacking. I believe that this was a blatant attack on Justice Sotomayor. That's
I
what I
didn't
believe.
even hear about that. I heard nothing about. Now, see, at all right, yeah, I didn't hear about that. I'm not gonna go any further, but that's all. You know.
And not to mention, when the January 6th was going on, not only did they want Nancy Pelosi, but they also wanted his vice president, Mike Pence.
Yeah, and Mike Pence has finally come out and said he's not going to endorse him. Okay, right. Amalia, you have anything else you want to add to this?
I was just gonna piggyback off of Olivia. I don't think I think they probably went after Mike because Mike Pence spoke out against Trump and said that he wasn't going to support him, and also had some things to say about what went on in the Trump administration. And everybody thought he was just this big sycophant, he just went along to get along, but he actually was trying to get along to save his own life, is what he was doing, because Trump was doing a lot of dirty things behind the scenes.
And that's why he said he was not getting in that car. He was like, it was no way. I was not getting in that car.
Because that they had the noose out for him. They had the built the noose and the thing to hold the noose. They was wanting to hang him and Nancy Pelosi.
No. I'm talking about when they took him out of the chambers and they took him into the parking garage. His people. Yeah, he said that they wanted to put him in a car and drive him away, and he said, "No, I refuse to get in that car." There, he kind of must have felt an ominous thing that he did not certify this election, and that was going to be it for him. So, and they would need him to certify him. They could go to Plan B. So he was smart. Mm-hmm.
Yep, they was gonna kill him. He noticed they was gonna kill him. He realized.
Yeah. And now that you mention that, do you all remember how what was that woman's name? AOC. I can't stand it. She talked
I know you talking about AOC.
Yeah, Cortez. How she they had her hemmed up in a closet, and oh my God, she was afraid for her life, and it turned out she was lying. Well, they all, part of them, you can't tell who was who until they come out and they get them hemmed up and they start speaking out about it, like Pence did. They were pretty much making up the stories to get everybody all up in arms.
Well, let me tell you what's going on now. So there was a statement put out by a Republican talking about the quote unquote shadow government is trying to hide the actual condition of Joe Biden, right? Yeah. But actually, the shadow government is Trump and his people. That's the shadow government. Okay. They are trying to camouflage what it is that they are trying to do. That is what's going on.
Y'all remember that Q mess, trust the plan, and what's that Q girl? I can't remember the name of this group. They had this big old conspiracy going on. It was all over Twitter. It was everywhere.
QAnon,
that was them. And I believe he was behind that too.
Absolutely, because they backed Trump. Yeah.
Yes. And they had everybody. And I believe they were a part of that insurrection too.
Absolutely. Yes, they were.
Something to do with it.
Yeah, one of the leaders was that guy up there with that costume on, that bull with the horns costume or whatever it was he had on, that fool. Mm-hmm. Yeah, he was one of the leaders up there looking like a fool. But it had not been part of the reason why they wanted to storm the Capitol is because they didn't want the election validated, and they wanted to get a hold to the box of electorates. And
Mm-hmm.
it had it not been for not been for the White House staffers, a few of them young people that snuck those boxes out of there, they might have gotten a hold to those boxes in order to invalidate the election. That is why Donald Trump didn't want to leave. So that's what they were gunning for.
Right.
Okay, hold on. I want to present something else for you guys. Take a little a break. We talked about the South and we talked about Tim Scott. Okay, so I want to I'm pretty sure, Olivia, you may have seen this. If not, we are going to play this.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, 1 second.
Racism is over in America. Tim Scott's racism is over in America. Do we have to? Well, I have to let you listen to this for yourself.
Chosen as the vice president, you would be the first Black Republican VP on the ticket. How do you feel?
I think it's exciting, no matter the outcome. It's the evolution of the Southern heart that we see on display. And we Southerners get so little credit for the progress we've made. The whole notion of judging a person on the content of their character, not the color of their skin, has happened. It's not going to happen. It's not around the corner. It's in the rearview mirror. We are living Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King Jr.'s dream.
With millions watching.
Child. Okay. So, Olivia, I don't know the South that you speak of. Tim Scott says it's in the rearview mirror. It has happened.
Bullshit. Okay. He is going for his meritorious manumission badge. If y'all don't know what that is, Google it, because he is a coon. The highest, he is a king coon. Okay. And he is ridiculous. He is living in a dream. He is an emasculated Black man. He worships the white male patriarchy. He wants to kiss the nuts of white male patriarchy. Okay. Now Trump know that he needs the Black vote, right? But he does not want Tim Scott to be the vice president of this United States of America. It's having to kill him. Now he's doing everything he can not to have to put Tim Scott in there. Okay, as the vice president. And if he does elect him vice president, he can do it just to get the vote, but it ain't gonna matter because Tim Scott really is worthless. You know, he is just like a
empty vessel. An empty vessel.
Yeah, empty vessel. That's all. You know. So yeah, he just only the color of his skin. He could be any Black man.
I hate that I had the banner up by mistake. Just the body language, and it was just so, he doesn't even sit in a chair like a real man. I gotta play this again. I'm gonna find it again, and let me. Okay, did you see the interview with the president of the Heritage Foundation?
No, I didn't. No.
Oh, okay. I want to play a few snippets of that because I think that is very important that you hear him say exactly what his agenda is. Now, it was done on MSNBC. I have played this before, and I got one of those Umarian dumb bitches who refused to, when she had the opportunity to teach for pay, she told her students allegedly to just play in their cell phones. I was playing this as to show you the president of the Heritage Foundation saying exactly what this Project 2025 agenda was. But her criticism was, I was over here watching TV for an hour, and and she was actually playing MSNBC. Now, this is supposed to be an educator, allegedly. Okay, so she did not understand that I'm letting you hear it from the horse's mouth. And MSNBC had be damned. They were just the the portal from where you were able to hear these plans, but had nothing to say about this Project 25 and the president of the Heritage Foundation telling you what they have in store. See, these are the idiots, and it's just not people who are uneducated. It's educated fools who want to tell you what they think about this, that, and the other. Nobody gives a fuck about what you think. What do you think about this motherfucker laying out this in front of you? See, because sometimes you have to show people. You just can't tell people. You really have to show them. Okay, so let me bring this up. Wait a minute, let me do this full screen. Okay.
Project 2025, spearheaded by conservative think tank the Heritage Foundation, is a years in the making, 900-plus page presidential transition plan giving Team Trump a detailed blueprint for a potential second term. That blueprint would radically remake the federal government, if executed, with its stated goal being, quote, to assemble an army of aligned, vetted, trained, and prepared conservatives to go to work on day one to deconstruct the administrative state. The project is built on 4 pillars, which go well beyond previous transition efforts. There's the policy agenda, personnel, training, and a 180-day playbook to execute the think tank's plans. Many authors of the blueprint are former Trump officials. Joining us now, one of the architects of Project 2025, the president of the Heritage Foundation, Dr. Kevin Roberts. Good morning, sir.
Good morning, Dr. Roberts. Thank you for joining us and coming. I know people are like, y'all got the architect of the 2025? Yes, because everyone has been talking about it. And we saw an interview that you did with the Associated Press, and we've been reading through some things. And I think we just want to first start with anchoring this conversation in. You told the New York Times that this plan is a plan that is for anyone. It's not just for Donald Trump. You would like if President Biden would implement some of it, but you don't think that that's going to happen. And so you reject the assertion that this is a plan that was cooked up specifically for the second coming of the Trump administration.
I appreciate that question because as your lobby shows when you walk in, you've got the word honesty and the word accuracy there. That's an honest and accurate depiction, and I'm grateful. Number one, the Heritage Foundation couldn't do that because we are nonpartisan. We can't be tied to one candidate. Secondly, we have offered a briefing of Project 2025 dating back to last year to every candidate.
Ronnie Q, hit play.
I thought I was off mute. So he said that I'm glad you're working with honesty, but it's not for any presidency. We allowed many administrations to see this. So, and we can't be partisan. And so, but watch what they actually call watch what they actually call this legislation. See, he's trying to be slick by half. He's like, no, it's just not for Trump. It's for anybody who wants to enact these policies. But then watch the follow up to this question. Okay, so let's be clear.
Specifically for the second coming of the Trump administration?
I appreciate that question because as your lobby shows when you walk in, you've got the word honesty and the word accuracy there. That's an honest and accurate depiction, and I'm grateful. Number one, the Heritage Foundation couldn't do that because we are nonpartisan. We can't be tied to one candidate. Secondly, we have offered a briefing of Project 2025 dating back to last year to every candidate for presidency, including President Biden. Honest to goodness, I would have been thrilled if President Biden and his team asked for a briefing. We understand that we have differences of opinion on just about everything. But at Heritage, we believe in telling the truth with a smile on our face. But the last point I should make is that now that President Trump is the nominee, and President Biden has not taken a Project 2025 briefing, President Trump is going to make decisions about policy in his administration if he wins. Project 2025 is something that's going to transcend the
the next 4 years, the next 10 years. It really is, for the first time in the history of the conservative movement, the apparatus for policy and personnel. That's the most important thing to remember.
I have one follow-up. It's just that you have said that this plan is about institutionalizing Trumpism. So, because I also know you all, not just the president of the Heritage Foundation, you're also president of the Heritage Action, which is the political action committee. And so, is it tied to Trump or not?
I said the context for that comment to the New York Times was that the work of the Heritage Foundation was to institutionalize Trumpism. Trumpism as a new version of conservatism.
What?
So you see, he had to go back on that. See, he is also part of a political, the Heritage PAC that's giving money to Trump. So now he had to go back. Now Trumpism is all automatically just a replacement for the word conservatism. This is what this motherfucker is up here trying to tell you.
Mm-hmm.
To try to pretend like it was not handwritten for the Trump administration, when a whole lot of the people who wrote this administration are former Trump appointees.
Mm-hmm.
Any questions? Comments?
This is very disturbing.
All I got to say is, at the end of the day, when they talk about Trumpism and conservatism, and and this is a plan from the Heritage Foundation and all of this and all of that, they are simply rolling back pre-Jim Crow era rules. We've seen it. Black people have read about it. You know what I mean? But they've not. None of us have really lived it, and so that is what they're wanting to go back to. The Heritage Foundation. Before it was the Heritage Foundation, it was called the Sons of the Confederacy or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
That's what they were called before. And when it comes to the daughters of the Confederacy, they have been twerking around with education for decades, for at least 100 years, right? Trying to tweak with what is told in the history books about slavery and things pertaining to Black peoples and how they were treated, right? Because they wanted to cover that up. They wanted to. But then also, when it comes to this guy, what I really want to say is what you're listening to here is a lot of catcalling and whistleblowing, and we may not, some of us may not understand what it is that he's saying, but he's speaking directly to white people, right? Yeah. He's catcalling them, okay? So they understand exactly what he's talking about. They understand exactly what has been promised to them via Trump. So that's why, against their own they think that they're going to get something that is going to help them out. Oh, it is the Black man's fault why I'm poor and living in this trailer. It is not because I'm a drunk and a drug addict, and the only thing I want to do is get high off of meth all day. Oh, it's because these N-words are taking the jobs away from all of us. Do you see what I'm saying? Or these immigrants are coming in and taking all these jobs away. It's not our fault. It's an entitlement issue. So when you hear these people talk about this stuff, it's nothing more than a cat call. Come join, come back our cause, and we'll make you great again.
This goes, this is my understanding of this. I get these publications from the state public health department every 3 months. And in them, it gives statistics on the numbers within the state and across the country, the numbers of births and deaths in the country, and they break it down by race, the STDs or STIs, they break them down by race. And I said all of that to say this. What thing is, I can kind of correlate this to what's happened with apartheid. When white people
wait a minute. Let me finish this. We way off track here.
Oh no. This has very much to do with what we're talking about right now.
Go ahead.
Okay, so did you notice that during apartheid, the laws when they were coming out of apartheid in South Africa, the laws that were catered to white folks started to change, and they weren't going in favor of the black folks. They were more so going in favor of the white folks because they wanted to maintain control. And what I'm saying now is these people understand that they're losing ground because of their infertility issues. And so what they're trying to do is maintain control. They see the browning and the blackening of America. They understand they are losing ground. And
When it comes to apartheid, you cannot equate. I'm sorry, Ronnie Q, but you cannot even equate what happened in South Africa to what has happened to black people in this United States of America.
Okay,
It
ladies, please let's move forward. Let's move forward. Because that is not we're off topic here. I just want you guys to hear what he has to say about this agenda, and we can talk about the whys and wheres and hows in a minute. Okay, let's get through this, please. Thank you. I appreciate you guys.
That recognizes that by every objective measure, the United States is weaker in 2024 than it was in 1984. We also happen to think that's reversible, by the way. We're ultimately optimists. And by institutionalizing Trumpism, what we're saying is that even though we are known as Ronald Reagan's think tank, I'm a son of the Reagan Revolution, I'm very proud of that, that's 40 years ago. And we need to understand what time it is in America. And right now, Donald Trump, whether someone likes it or not, I happen to like it, is the standard bearer for conservatism.
Well, Michael, what time is
it? I don't think it's time for Trumpism in that regard, because one of the things that as a lifelong follower and participant in Heritage, having spoken at various times there in the roles that I've played in the party, I see this as a dramatic shift away from those Reaganesque principles when you have someone like Trump who has advocated some of the things he has. But before we get to that,
okay, so we see that he's admitting that he was a part of the whole Reaganomics thing as well. So this is the same person using the same blueprint that you heard the young lady say that Reaganomics was 60 all of the tenets of Reaganomics were actually put in place. At least up to 60% of all the tenets of Reaganomics were put in place during Reagan's years. So this is the same architect. Saucy, please stop. So this is the same.
What's wrong with your baby?
I don't know what she's doing. Stop, Saucy. So there's that. Stop it. So there's that. So this is the same person, and he's very proud of his work. So he's gone 10 steps further, is my point. So let's continue. I just got to.
Let me just say that when he said in 1980 we're far weaker than we were in 1984. Do you know why this country is economically weaker than we were in 1984?
Why?
Because drug money. It was so much drug money in this country in the 80s, honey, to where the United States government wanted to take it over.
And tax money. And let's talk about all these tax cuts and all these people who are actually moving their money out of America offshore. It's no. Okay, let's continue. Let's continue. Let's continue. I want to get through this because it's a lot.
And look at how
I want to get to the nub of this, because you can't really do anything until you remove what has been identified as the problem, and that is 50,000 federal employees. Axios noted, quote, the massive headhunting quest aims to recruit 20,000 people to serve in the next administration as a down payment on 4,000 presidential appointments plus potential replacements for as many as 50,000 federal workers who are policy adjacent, as Trumpers put it. Policy adjacent to what? I mean, you're talking about people who've been in federal government. My daddy was a federal government employee, so I would be really appalled thinking that he could be on someone's chopping block because they think he is part of some deep state effort. Talk to us about what that looks like. If Heritage is calling for removing 50,000 federal employees, who are you replacing them with? And where do they come from? I mean, even if it's not 50,000, If it's 10,000, if it's 2,000, where are they coming from and who are you replacing them with? Because I suspect a lot of those people you're talking about have been in the federal service for a long time and have served not just Republican administrations, but also Democratic administrations, et cetera.
They have. And 95% of them who give political contributions give them to the Democratic Party. I reject out of hand, Michael, that somehow
you're going to fire someone because they wrote a check to a Democratic candidate?
No, we're gonna.
He said 95% of them has given to the Democrat Party. Where you get this number from?
Yeah,
That
where did you get this number
95.
from?
Yeah, 95%. Did somebody ask me to hold?
That was me.
Somebody? Okay, go ahead.
Do you know that there's a girl, I can't get the percentage right, but there's a huge number of federal employees that are Black American.
Yeah, we talked about that earlier.
Yeah. So he wants to, to me, I really believe that they want to eliminate these so-called Black jobs.
They
And
do.
this is one of them. The federal employees, the federal workforce is Black.
Okay, let's continue to be like real clear on what he plans to do with these workers, and why they're getting rid of them, and who they are replacing them with is also a point. They're going to get rid of them, and what are they going to replace them with?
Fire someone, and the number needs to be more than 50,000, considering that there are more than 2 million federal employees, because over the last century, the radical left has seen the administrative state as the fourth branch of government. They're unelected bureaucrats, nothing against your dad, obviously, as a human being. You know that about me and Heritage. But ultimately, we have to devolve power from the imperial
But
city
you
of
would
Washington
fire my
back to the
dad
people.
because he wrote a check to a Democratic candidate without any appreciation or understanding where his political allegiance
We
or
will
alliances
dramatically
are. Why does
reform
that
agencies
matter?
that take
If
rights
they're doing
away
their
from
job,
people.
why does that matter?
They're doing their job about a mission that's misaligned. For example, the U.S. Department of Education. Thankfully,
They're doing their job about a mission that's misaligned. Misaligned with what? Misaligned with this radical agenda that we're putting through. So therefore, you don't have the independence to vote how you want, or you may lose your job. It's what he just said.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Olivia, anything you want to add to that?
All I got to say is I.e. Vladimir Putin.
You know what? You see that Michael Steele has serious reservation with this.
Well, he ought to.
He's against it. He's against it. He's totally against it.
He has a
Okay.
this. When this man started talking, this doctor, he sat up straight. Look at their body language. This man is so proud of
Yeah, he's very.
Absolutely.
Okay, let's go.
Oh, go ahead. I'm sorry.
Let's go for it.
Hopefully, President Trump deserves credit for saying that he wants to end the Department of Education. That means that employees in that agency, even if they've been serving that mission with great competence, will have to go look for another job. What's more important than that, Michael, is that we actually have a delivery mechanism for education in this country that reflects the 21st century. So at Heritage, we see this a very different way. You want to look at it from the lens of unelected bureaucrats, most of whom, not your dad, I guess, who want to say that they are more important than the everyday American. We want to look at it from the standpoint of the everyday American and say it's time that they are put in the driver's seat rather than unelected bureaucrats.
Yeah, but they aren't going to be in the driver's seat because they
That's
aren't going to
the
be
job,
doing the
Wilson.
jobs. The folks you're identifying who are Trump aligned are the ones who are going to be coming in.
You are positing that those people are incompetent. And I can tell you from
I'm not.
looking at the
No,
resumes
you're
of the
positing-
11,000 that
you're
they're very well
As much
qualified.
as you're thinking, I'm positing these people.
Okay, so you're opposing that these people are incompetent. What we're
stop,
opposing
Wilson.
is that they are unqualified to do the job. What he's saying is, why are you getting rid of people who have done the job and done the job for years, for decades in some cases, and just summarily getting rid of them to fill in somebody who you just, the only training they have is the ideology that you, so how good is will these jobs be run by people who have never done these jobs?
There was a dog whistle. Did you catch that dog whistle?
But the only thing you're supposed to be marching to is some agenda that they have. So how good is the government going to be run if you and he said not 50,000. He said we've identified up to 2 million jobs. Can you imagine what a mess? Oh my God! If they let these people,
draconian. Oh, it's so draconian. This is just like you. It's just like you said, Miss Olivia. It's like the Vladimir Putin with a whole party of people who think and act and live and breathe and eat shit and sleep and drink like Vladimir Putin. We have internalized this man and his ideas, and we will carry out his agenda, and we will do what it is that he wants us to do. And reverse that and put Trump in his place. It's gonna be
like the Trump has told the world that he wants to be the last president of the United States. He wants to be a dictator. Who is a dictator? Who is a dictator that he admires right now? Vladimir Putin. He admires Vladimir Putin. He has even snuck secrets. What do you call it? Military secrets allegedly to Vladimir Putin. Do you see what I'm saying? Putin is one of his besties, honey. Okay, he admires that, man. He wants to run this country like Putin runs his country with an iron fist. That's what Donald Trump wants to do.
He admired Putin, Kim Jong-un, he admires dictators. Okay, so we're gonna go forward.
Yes.
We're gonna go forward a little bit, ladies.
Are incompetent, you're positing that they're somehow executing a nefarious agenda.
Some of them are.
Why is the environmental protection?
Wow.
Some of them are operating a nefarious agenda. Okay, so which would be what? They're doing their jobs, and it's a nefarious agenda. It's not their agenda, it's their job. So you have problem with the job that they're doing. You're not going to try to come in and change work codes. You're putting them out of the job, saying that they're doing something that they how are you making this connection? If it's a nefarious agenda, okay, so you get in and you change policies and you change the rules and how you do your job. No, you're just throwing people off their jobs. This is bullshit.
It is.
And people don't understand that if they just going to do it for these F1 jobs, are they going to do it for all jobs? Are you going to be, all your jobs are going to be so easily replaced? Because if it's palatable for it to happen to them, why can't it happen to you and your job? And they put a crony in your job.
You just hit on something. They're going to set a precedent with this because the private industry is going to follow suit. Whatever the government does, the private industry is going to follow suit. You're going to see these corporations hiring. If you don't fit the bill, if you're not in alignment with our agenda, you won't work out here. You're just not going to work here. We're going to find people who think and internalize our ideas and our standards, and that's the way it's going to be.
And then you think about it, the real reason that they said that they get rid of unions, how did they bust all these unions? Came in with a slant. Well, you're paying your union dues, and your union is supporting and sending your money to a Democratic candidate. And why should you have to send your money to a Democrat candidate if you're not voting for a Democrat? So, but why should you get union protections when you don't want to pay your union dues? Why should you get union protection? So that's how they burst up the unions. But now here they are telling you, if you don't toe the line to a agenda, that you're not going to have a job, period.
Right.
You understand it? Do you see the flim flam in this bullshit?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, fuck who you you go to work and you vote for and you still have a job. Who gives a fuck? How much is union dues? Union dues is for most industries is not big. It's not a lot of money. Okay, so you would rather bust up the unions, but people have no qualms in saying that you are not going to be able to have a job unless you toe the line on this agenda to the fullest. Okay, let's continue. I'm going to go a little further here.
Texas
But who
agency
are
have
they?
350
Have you identified
armed
them?
If I could interject, because I did actually work for the federal government,
As
I worked
did
with a
I,
number,
right.
as did the chairman, and I worked with a number of those we call them civil servants in the United States government, people who are not political appointees, and they have the
If
institutional
only
knowledge.
they acted that way.
Well, I think Alicia has a question along those lines about one of the policy priorities.
This guy's something else.
Called civil servants. If only they acted that way. Okay, let's continue.
That you all have identified in Project 2025.
I actually, Dr. Roberts, have a question about this upcoming election. Is your organization going to accept the results of the 2024 presidential election?
I believe that Dr. Roberts can't hear. So Alicia just asked, is your organization going to accept the results of the 2024 election, regardless of the outcome?
Yes, if there isn't.
I want to hear his answer.
Okay, that's a yes or no question. So this is the same man who said that there would be bloodshed unless the left, if the right comes into power, there will be bloodshed unless the left yields or something. I forget what it was, exactly what he said. But he's okay. Let's see how he answers this question. I'm gonna play it back a little bit, and I'm gonna let you hear it in its completion.
2024 presidential election.
I believe that Dr. Roberts can't hear. So Alicia just asked, is your organization going to accept the results of the 2024 election, regardless of the outcome?
Yes, if there isn't massive fraud like there was in 2020.
What does that mean?
If there isn't massive fraud.
Do you believe that there was not massive fraud?
There was massive fraud. We have an election fraud database that has documented that over years. By the way, the Heritage Foundation has been concerned about election integrity for decades, not just about 2020. We've been documenting this problem for a very long time. And if one of the
I believe, according to the Heritage Foundation, sir, by your count, Heritage Foundation has done an investigation, and according to your count, there have been 1,513 proven instances of voter fraud across the United States since 1982.
Yeah, that's probably
1,513.
Because they're very hard to document.
How is it hard?
Okay, but you did document it. And what you documented was 1,500 cases. And so now you're saying that you will accept the election if it's not a lot of fraud. Oh, so let's be clear. Of those 1,500 cases, all of them cases were not fraud to vote for Democrats. So how many of them was fraud to vote for Republicans, like we heard so many did in the 2020 election? How much fraud was, you think all? So how many of them are for to vote for Republicans as opposed to Democrats? So now let's be clear. They wanted you to believe that there was a whole lot of fraud. See, they said the Dominion voting machines were changing votes. They kept that up all the way up until they went to court and were sued by Dominion and had to pay almost $1 billion for that lie. They kept telling you this lie. Now, that is his answer to the questions. What do you ladies have to say about that?
I think this guy's he's a shady motherfucker. I'm just gonna keep it blunt. He is a shady motherfucker. He is he's sitting there straight with his back straight as a board. He's proud of that bullshit that he's spewing out of his mouth. And he's truly on board with Trump. And you hear him dog whistling to people to try to cast doubt on the election process. well, yeah, we'll go along with it as long as there's no fraud. You know, there was no fraud to begin with. It was you guys spewing lies. That's what happened. A lot of people were lying and having other people to believe that there was a lot of fraud. When in actuality, they were carrying out boxes of votes and tricking people into going to polling places when the polling places were closed, closing them early, telling people, you know, that they could mail in their ballots when they were taking the ballots and driving them off and dumping them in ditches. They did all kinds of devilment. So the fraud came in on their side. That's what I have to say about it.
Olivia, what do you have to add to that?
All I know, I thought it was unfortunate to hear him say. I think it's the Democratic response is unfortunate, right? Because here's the thing. Now he just said, if the vote goes in our favor, you know, we're gonna accept it, right? Basically, and he also said that if it didn't go in their favor, there's going to be bloodshed. That is a document.
So let's be clear. Amalia, the thing about throwing the truckloads of votes being carried off, see, that was part of the Republican lie. Van loads of votes being, van loads of votes being carried away. That was a part of the Republican lie about how the election was scoped. They were saying that Democrats were doing that. So let's be clear. The Rudy Giuliani saying that Shay Moss and her daughter were huddling a hard drive like it was crack cocaine, which he has since been sued for and has to pay libel for, saying that, of course, the two black women were handling a hard drive in between each other like it was crack cocaine at the poll station, trying to do something nefarious to the votes. Okay, so we heard what his answer was. He said it depends if there's not a lot of fraud. And his own foundation only found 1,500 something cases of fraud, of which we don't know who it was fraud for, Republican or Democrat, since 1980. But now all of a sudden he's like, well, if there's not a lot of fraud. But so let's hear what his answer was earlier. I played this tape earlier about bloodshed. So what does he have to say about bloodshed? Let me stop this screen, and I'm going to remind you of what he said about bloodshed during this election, after the election. Let me see. Here we go. Here we go right here. See, how come he didn't have the same answer? That was a very simple question. Are you going to accept the outcome of the election, no matter how it goes? But this is what he is really thinking. Okay. He said this as well.
He said it out loud. He says, listen, it won't be any bloodshed as long as the left allows what is about to happen. I'm paraphrasing. Here it is.
Let me speak about the radical left. You and I have both been parts of faculties and faculty senates and understand that the left has taken over our institutions. The reason that they are apoplectic right now, the reason that so many anchors on MSNBC, for example, are losing their minds daily is because our side is winning. And so I come full circle in this response and just want to encourage you with some substance that we are in the process of the Second American Revolution, which will remain bloodless if the left allows it to be.
Wow.
It will remain bloodless if the left allows it to be. Okay, so ladies, where is he interviewing right now? Where is he actually doing this interview? MSNBC. This interview is actually on MSNBC. So he says MSNBC is losing its mind. and because they're winning. But when he answered the question on MSNBC, he punted and said, well, voting, if it's so hard to prove, then you haven't proved it, so therefore you have to accept the election. It's so hard to prove. But what he wants is bloodshed either way.
Yeah.
To say that they won. If they're not going to accept anything but a win, if up into bloodshed, in my opinion. That is what this is saying. These two opposing terms is saying the same thing.
I agree with you 100%. Either way it goes, we want bloodshed. We this guy is whistling to the sky.
If they don't lay down, we're winning. Okay, so he has such a thing against MSNBC. Okay, when I first played this, I played it directly off of MSNBC's site. Do you know, when I tried to pull it up again, I can't even find this interview on MSNBC site. You know whose site this interview is on?
Who?
It's on the Heritage Foundation site. They are proud of this interview, that they are the one who is carrying this interview. But he has so much angst against why MSNBC is up in arms. You are so proud of MSNBC's work and what you said on MSNBC, you're carrying it on your own site. See, a bunch of liars, sleight of hand artists, a bunch of BS. Okay, so that's what I have to say about that. Anything, Olivia? You didn't say much.
The reason why I haven't said much is because I said, look, I see through all the bullshit. The time of having these conversations has passed. The man already pretty much done declared war, which is what we are headed for. But when it comes to white male patriarchy and the system of white supremacy racism, what this country is founded on, they built it on that. And it's going to end on that. They are simply going to destroy this aberration, this abomination that they built on the blood of a lot of people in this country. Okay, they are simply going to destroy it under the same guise. We done seen it before, and we never learned from history. All back pre-Roman days, pre-Greek days, post Black African Egyptians, right? We've seen these great these great supremacies build themselves up on blood, and we see them fall on blood, and it happened really quicker when it comes to the United States, but it's going to happen nonetheless, and that's what we are on the follow. But when it comes to us Black people, unfortunately, before we realize that we got to band together, a lot of us are not going to be here anymore before we realize it, and then make it so bad. If you really want to take it, it really goes back, in my opinion, because I'm spiritual, into what's going on in the book of Revelations. We have entered the age of Aquarius. We are no longer under the age of learning and reading and gaining knowledge. We are in the era of knowing and doing, and when it comes to a lot of us, we simply have not caught up to what's really going on. They try to keep us asleep with TV and reality shows, and this bullshit conversation, these circular conversations that we have on YouTube and going back and forth. And white America really thinks that we are so disjointed as a Black people because they fear the rise of the Black man. They think that we are so disjointed. Yes, there will be a lot of casualties, but in the end, we are going to fight back. So I realize what's going on. All we seeing, all the Heritage Foundation is doing is dog whistling to these white supremacist organizations. Be ready. If Trump don't win, it's gonna be bloodshed. It's gonna be the onslaught of the Civil War. If we don't have him as our new dictator, it's time to fight. That's really all that he's saying. So when you say it's not on MSNBC and it's right on the Heritage Foundation, that's what they wanted him to say. They're getting bolder and bolder. That's all.
Yeah, exactly. And so we're sitting up here on this internet. We have all the opportunities to share information. I had 240 some people in here, and it has dwindled down to 114. All these people, I appreciate you guys for being here, the 114 of you that are here. I am dropping these links because I feel that it is a message that needs to be shared, that needs to be talked about, and need to be understood thoroughly.
Yep.
I don't need you to say what Ronnie Q said. I need you to have the knowledge from the people who want to enact this upon us. I need you to hear how they saying one answer in one breath and the real answer. See, he wasn't sitting with MSNBC when he was bold enough to say all of that about it would be bloodshed, and if the left don't lay down and they think we're winning, that's why they're upset. No, you're the one who's upset, and you're so upset that if you don't win, if you can't go on an MSNBC and lie once again about this voter fraud. See, nobody's going for this voter fraud thing again. Well, they, half of the country will. Let's understand that half of the country are behind them. Why do you think they want to keep us so stupid? Because half of us will follow propaganda. We look at these YouTube beef sector, for example. Half of people are following stories that they know is a whole bunch of bullshit, whole bunch of plots, plays, and games are being run, and yet they follow them. It's arguments, circular, like you say, circular arguments about absolutely nothing, but things about things that have something to do about you and how you're gonna live your life. Don't nobody want to talk about it. Don't nobody. I hear so many people. Oh, don't nobody want to talk about that politics stuff. Don't know. And then when they want to deflect, Big Sexy had the nerves to try to talk about what the Supreme Court ruling on immunity meant. But I think that means that, that case where he had with the porn star, they're not going to be able to do anything about it. Excuse me, bitch. Hold on. Excuse me, bitch. The case with the porn star has already been adjudicated. Okay, the case with the porn star had nothing to do with presidential immunity at all. See, the civil rights ruling the Supreme Court ruling had to do with his presidential immunity. Furthermore, the Stormy Daniels case could never have anything to do with presidential immunity, because the Stormy Daniels case and all the allegations about the case were things that happened while he was a candidate for president. So it obviously nothing about that case fell under presidential immunity. So you have big dumb bitches up here trying to talk about things that they don't know while trying to divert an audience from a person who don't know nobody want to hear about that. No, you can't talk about these types of things because you motherfucking bitches are such hating assholes and so ignorant that instead of it's just like the ignorance is just overwhelming. It just kills me.
The Stormy Daniels case don't have nothing to do with it, because if we really want to tell the truth about what's going on in this country, Ronnie Q, Donald Trump should have been arrested for treason. Okay, high treason, not insurrection, but high treason, because of what he incited during the January 6th riots. He should have been jailed for high treason. White male patriarchy, and the fact that they worship this delusion, this crazy ass man with his racism and stuff. The way that he was not jailed gave him, fueled him, and the only reason why Biden is president right now is because a few more white people, stood up for the election. Right now, if he's ever elected again, these white people that oppose him, we are seeing it now in the Democratic Party when they're asking Biden to step down, which they should do, but they should have done it in the first place. They are simply going to acquiesce. They're going to fall in line because they know that it benefits them. They don't want to be killed. They don't want to have a mark on their back.
Yeah, you know what's the worst that can happen to them? Just shit. Well, I can fall in line. Shit, at least I'll be living. At least I can be guaranteed a job. I can fit in. I can pass. Okay.
I might not have to stand against the firing squad.
Well, provided you go along with the party, and I put party quotes. You better go with the party.
Of course, you're not gonna have no choice but to go along with the party.
The fact that Joe Biden didn't have Donald Trump jailed after the January 6th insurrection tells you a lot. It speaks a lot to white supremacy racism. He should have been thrown in jail for high treason. He was still a sitting president of the United States of America, and he committed insurrection. He committed high treason. Why is he not in jail?
Why did it take so long for them to gather evidence to even bring? It's been 4 years. Why did it take them so long to gather their cases together?
They did not. They seen it. They had all the proof they needed. He's a president of the United States of America. He could have had him jailed for treason if he wanted to.
It wasn't
exactly
even the evidence. It was the fact that the community, the public, was crying out, bitching and moaning about what we saw, and we wanted something done. If we hadn't raised holy hell, they wouldn't have done a damn thing at all.
And they still didn't do a damn thing. They still didn't do a damn. See, people be protesting about the wrong thing. You see what I'm saying? You protesting about what's going on across the world in Israel. You protesting about the rights of a woman, which is you should be protesting about it. But the overarching issue is what Donald Trump is supposed to do to this country. That's what people need to be in the streets about.
But people are not hearing about it. They didn't even ask one question about it at the presidential debate because because this is corporate media. You have not heard much about this in corporate media, and of course you have to get your media from many different sources. So let's be clear. You have to search out your information. But okay, let's finish this up. We're almost done. Okay. And please, if you would like to cash at me, you're more than welcome to, because I played a couple of videos and I do not know if they are going to block my video. I played one video on one of my last shows. I tried to break it up. I tried to use the fair use. They still blocked my video. And so if you like the content, if you want to cash at me, you're more than welcome to. So let's end this up. Okay, so I think I gave enough commentary, and we're going to end this all the way up, okay?
And the Democrat Party is very good at fraud. The key thing here, which I think we would both agree on.
And according to your count, there have been 1,513 proven instances of voter fraud across the United States since 1982.
Yeah, that's probably
1,513.
Because they're very hard to document. And the Democrat Party is very good at fraud. The key thing here, which I think we would both agree on, is that we aspire at the Heritage Foundation to seeing a poll after this election where every American believes their vote was counted. I care as deeply about someone on the political left with whom I disagree, saying that they have confidence in the outcome of the election. It seems, rather than turn this into
Okay, he said the Democrats are good at fraud, but he cares as much about the people on the left feeling like they have had a fair, balanced election. But we did feel that we had a fair and balanced. But what did you guys do for over a year? Up to saying the voting machines were changing votes. We felt we had a fair, clean election, but you guys didn't. So now he's trying to put this on us as if, the Democrats are good at fraud. So would it be the Republicans who were trying to defraud their own voters, saying that they had really won, but there was so much voter fraud that they could not prove any of the voter fraud? And the voter fraud cases that they did prove were people who were actually voting for Republicans fraudulently. Okay, so let's continue.
Do a partisan conversation, which you do a good job of at MSNBC, we might say we aspire to something more noble, which is that every American believes their vote counts.
I mean, I don't think it's partisan to ask if you will accept the results of the election. Alicia, I don't know if can you hear Alicia now?
Yeah,
Alicia, do you have another question?
I can hear. I do have another question. I'm specifically interested as it relates, Dr. Roberts, to the deportation of immigrants in this country, just understanding sort of how it is going to work. When we talk about folks on the interior, how you see a future administration utilizing the National Guard, ICE, police forces to deport something like 11 million people.
Could you hear? Yeah. So she is asking about immigration and how you see immigration, how in this plan, how you talk about using like the National Guard to deport individuals. Like what is the, Alicia, and do tell me if I am adequately
people on the interior
summarizing.
specifically.
People
not
on
the
the interior specifically, not people in the border, people within this country.
Well, first of all, we need to close the border. And secondly, we need to have the biggest mass deportation system ever in the history of America, because it is unjust and illegal and evil that more than 10 million illegal aliens have come to this country. It's imperative that we send those people back, invite them back to come through the legal system. We love immigrants at Heritage, but we also love the rule of law.
So how do you plan to carry that out?
Well,
are you talking about going door to door? Because that's what I mean, I could read from the plan, but I think
the first thing is that there's going to be a lot of self-deportation. The interesting thing, as you no doubt know, is that simply talking about this and beginning to implement a plan, and President Trump deserves a lot of credit for talking about this, causes people to say, I don't want to run the risk of being arrested for doing something illegal. But secondly, there are great plans using the Department of Homeland Security to return these people back to south of the border. The great thing is, even a majority of people on the political left agree with this because they see the damage that this has done.
Well, before we go,
I think we want to take a couple more minutes.
yeah,
and so I know
just
we're being
gonna
told to
ask you
wrap, but
real
we want to
quick.
take a few more minutes.
No, I'll stay as long as you want.
No. Just ask you real quick. So what do these people do? What are they doing now?
Which people?
The folks, the 11 million, 20 million, whatever you want to deport.
A lot of them are committing crimes like murdering the 12-year-old girl in Houston. In fact,
so that's one. That's one out of 11 million. What is?
We can take the remaining time of the segment, and I can give you a lot
in
of
Texas,
examples.
undocumented immigrants were 37.1% less likely to be convicted of a crime. Undocumented immigrants, and according to a survey, University of California Riverside study, 33% less likely to be in prison as of 2021.
Young lady killed in
I'm just
Georgia.
giving the numbers.
Well, what do you tell the parents of those people, those young girls who were killed? This is,
I mean,
the preponderance of these people, Michael, are male.
What is the difference between an illegal immigrant who unfortunately engages in that activity?
And we don't like that. I want to be clear. We don't use the term illegal. So
yeah, we don't.
Undocumented individuals.
They're illegal aliens.
Undocumented individuals versus anyone else who commits the same crime. Well, I mean, so what you're saying is because you have this instance of individuals behaving badly, that's a reflection of every individual in that community, and that's just not the case.
No, what is the case is that because the preponderance.
I mean, what percentage of those people, the 11 million that you want to
answer your question.
I just want to clarify my question. Okay. That's what I'm trying to do. What percentage of those individuals that you want to get rid of, move out of the country, actually commit crimes?
Our analysis in Texas, Georgia, and New York shows that a preponderance of the illegals who have come in are unattached male, and there are unattached males, and the disproportionate number of them are people who are not even making any attempt to be illegal.
But what is that number?
Obviously,
are you
a large number
10 out of 1,000, or are you talking? I'm just trying to get.
Well, I just would say, and if Alicia were sitting here and you could hear her, she would say that you are weaponizing a horrific murder to smear 11 million people.
That is a laughable assertion. What Joe Biden is doing is weaponizing the entire government.
Before we let you go, Dr. Roberts, I do want to ask you about abortion because it is an issue that is at the top of mind for folks all over this country right now, waiting on a case from the Supreme Court, EMTALA. In Louisiana, in places all over this country, abortion care is unavailable to people that may need it. You and the organization in this plan talks about changing the Department of Health and Human Services to the Department of Life. Do you think that women in America should be able to get an abortion if that is what their doctor says they need?
Abortion's not healthcare. I find it really interesting, if not worse, that you wouldn't support the change of the department name to the Department of Life. I thought we were all in support of life. We believe eminently in women's rights, and particularly women's rights in the womb. And so the real question that you should...
Hold on. He said, I think that we are all, what is it? What did he just say? Hold on.
In places all over this country, abortion, changing the Department of Health and Human Services to the Department of Life. Do you think that women in America should be able to get an abortion if that is what their doctor says they need?
Abortion's not healthcare. I find it really interesting, if not worse, that you wouldn't support the change of the department name to the Department of Life. I thought we were all in support of life. We believe...
Okay, you thought we were all in support of life, but you said that there would be bloodshed if the left didn't lay down after this election. But you won't accept the election unless there was not a lot of fraud. But in the since 1980, you have only found 1,500 cases of voter fraud. You didn't say which side benefited from that voter fraud. Them 1,500, not 1,000, 1,500 cases since the 1980s. But you said that there would be bloodshed, but now you sitting up here talking about you thought we would all be for life. Let's continue.
Eminently in women's rights, and particularly women's rights in the womb. And so the real question that you should be asking...
I just want to know, if I may, though, because I do ask the question
talking
here,
about the people
I just want to know, do you
supporting
believe...
legislation that abortion can happen until...
The question you should be answering. So what you did was you didn't want to answer the question. So you're going to tell her what question she should be asking you, the one that you're ready for. Okay, so let's continue.
3 days after the person's born. This is an absurd framing by this network.
That is an absurd assertion. As
Question that you should be asking.
I just want to know, if I may, though, because I do ask the question
talking
here,
about the people
I just want to know, do you
supporting
believe
legislation that abortion can happen until 3 days after the person's born?
Okay, so how can abortion happen up until 3 days after the baby is born? Did you hear this?
They don't even make sense.
Donald Trump says this all the time. He said it in the debate that Democrats, they want to support abortions 8-9 months after the baby's born. They
that's murder.
To say this. That's
murder.
Okay,
definitely.
So we're almost done, and we're gonna talk about it. I'm gonna let you go.
This is an absurd framing by this network.
That is an absurd assertion. As a person with an actual womb, I'm telling you that does not happen.
So
but let me just back up.
Legislators in California, Virginia, New York, who
Dr. Roberts,
filed this bill.
Does Heritage and Project 2025 believe that a woman should be able to have an abortion if her doctor says that she needs one? It's a yes or no question.
Abortion is not healthcare.
So
abortion
that is
is
a
the
no?
murder of a human being.
All right. Well, I disagree thoroughly.
I have a question. Is this guy an MD? Is he a physician MD or is he a PhD?
I haven't looked him up. I think he's a PhD. I'm not sure. Well,
he sounds stupid as hell because there are many reasons why a woman may need to get an abortion. Like what if you have a ectopic pregnancy? What if you have a tubal pregnancy and you are going to die if you do not remove the fetus from your tubes? Okay. Now, if you want to turn this from the Department of Health to the Department of Life, what are you saying about this woman's life? If she don't have this ectopic pregnancy, fixed, i.e., a tubal abortion, she's going to die. So how are you going to go from the Department of Health to the Department of Life? You're just going to let this woman die? Because her doctor.
Let me tell you what's going on in California. I don't know about other states. There's a physician who had a patient to come in, and she needed the abortion to save her life. there was something going on with this fetus, and this lady's life needed to be saved. The doctor chose to save the woman's life instead, and now she's up. She's trying to fight to protect her license against the medical board. She was turned in by the hospital, and
But California's a pro-life state. I mean, a pro-abortion state.
Yeah,
So I don't
California's a
understand that.
pro-abortion state.
yeah, but it's pro-abortion, but they wanted this woman. The doctor chose to save the woman's life, as opposed. She said if she had tried to get save the baby, then the woman would have died.
Well,
And
people are traveling to California. Maybe you got the wrong state because people are traveling to California to get an abortion.
First here in California, so I don't have the wrong state. I'm
Yeah.
telling you that the doctor chose to save the woman, but they
Mhm.
want her. They have a problem with the fact that she didn't let the woman die. She didn't try to save the child, the baby. So it's like there this trend towards we want babies born at all costs.
Listen, it's like a life was saved. What was the baby gonna do? How viable was a baby's life gonna be without the mother? This is dumb bullshit. This is the most ludicrous bullshit I ever heard. Now you may see on some of your commercials and stuff that they have quite a few commercials running with a woman and a young woman in the car, and they getting pulled over. Look like a DUI checkpoint, but no, they're checking, and they're telling the lady, to the young girl in the seat, and they're looking all nervous, and they're telling her, asking them where have they been, and asking her to open her jacket up, is she okay, and all this type of stuff. So what that it was aiming at were them following and tracking pregnancies to see if you go across state lines to terminate pregnancies. So it's going to get that intense, and they're trying to warn you about it. But a lot of people don't think that this is happening. A lot of people live in states like Missouri and stuff that they have to go out of the states. Okay. No, he's a PhD. Okay.
Well, what it's going to do, if I may, is just bring back the era of the back alley pregnancies. You remember
The
when
coat hangers, the coat
the
hangers.
coat hangers and going to these people that are really not doctors, for the woman can have the abortion in these back alleys.
And the rich people and the politicians will continue to have their mistresses get theirs, though.
Yep. Yep, they'll still be able to get their abortions. That's always how it has been, And when it comes to black people, the black people forget that when it comes to abortions in the black community back in the day, they would go to root workers so that a potion could be made up for them to drink so that the baby would be aborted, right? And sometimes the women, even in those cases, sometimes the women would bleed to death. So not only would the baby would be gone, many times the mother would be gone also because the potion was too potent and it poisoned the body.
Or they go in there and do the surgery in them back alleys of abortion,
or they do the coat hanger method,
and they bleed to death, or
they bleed to death.
There was a lot of death behind people who had no other way out and felt desperate enough that they had to end these pregnancies.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, so
absolutely.
It's gonna be, and they're pushing this traditional family on you. So okay, it's all about the traditional family. So how are they gonna start treating single unwed women who are pregnant, since they are going to be pushing the traditional family? Are we going to go back into the 50s where even being a single pregnant woman is going to be so stigmatized that people are going to look for avenues out that will single unwed mothers, single pregnant women be able to get jobs and all of this, or would they be stigmatized out of society since they are going to be pushing the traditional family?
Let me tell you what's gonna go on 2.0. 2.0 is, if you haven't seen the series The Handmaid's Tale on Hulu, I suggest that a
I
lot of
haven't
you
seen
women.
it. I saw you guys reference that, and I said I've seen that reference so many times. Go ahead.
You need to.
I suggest that a lot of women go look at that series on Hulu, okay? Because when it comes to these Anglos, that's what because we know that their fertility rates are going down, right? So when you look at if you've ever seen A Handmaid's Tale, you know that there was a civil war in the country, in this country. There were the fertility rates of the Anglos pretty much. Those fertility rates were pretty much dead. So what they would do was if you were able to have a baby and you were a woman, because most of the women had become infertile, they would pretty much turn you into a slave and say you a husband and a wife and you can't have a child. So they would send you to this person's house, and this husband will rape you repeatedly until you got pregnant. And after you had the baby, they would take the baby and send you on to the next family because you was able to bear children. Yeah.
Oh, that's horrible. I mean,
Yeah. And it's, you know what it's indicative of, though? Guess what? Guess what, Ronnie Q? It sounds like what? A slave sex form? You know how in the slave sex form they was making you couple with your mama or your daddy or whatever, only to make another slave? So it can, so because that's a sense of revenue.
Right.
They didn't care who you was matched with, as long as you could make another slave, baby.
And I think it's predictive programming. It's something that happened in the past and it's just coming back.
Because we don't learn. You're absolutely right. It's predictive program. What does the old saying go? If you don't learn to learn from the past, you're doomed to repeat it. That's what we're seeing right now in this country. It's actually what we're seeing all over the world, because I do think there is a one world agenda afoot.
Oh yes. Oh
Yeah.
yes.
So they saying that the doctor in 2020, what is it? A doctor in 2020, 2030? What do you call it, Amalia?
Agenda 2030.
Agenda. Yes, Agenda 2030. So yeah. Anything else you guys want to add about this?
No, not about this. I just want to say thank you, Ronnie Q, for bringing up the subject. I'm sorry I came in late, but I was like, oh well, shoot, I clicked the link and talked to Ronnie about it, because I know we got a lot of the same ideals when it comes to this subject. So thank you. That's all I want to say.
And I just wanted to share those links because I really want to get this information out. A lot of people are not up on this information.
Yeah.
So I'm glad I was able to drop some links in the chat. If you guys missed the earlier part of the chat, I was dropping the links to a lot of information. It was like a lot of people didn't, have much to say about the 2025 agenda. And then I was just about to log off, and Olivia came up. I greatly appreciate you. I just really feel like a lot of people do feel like this is something that is unimportant to them, that they can sit out and they don't have to worry about. But I think that this is some real important stuff going down here.
Yeah.
You can't be, that's why I have a channel to, talk about some things that I feel are important. And I think some important things need to be talked about in this moment in history. And
I'm glad you did it. Let me say this, Ronnie Q. If I can, I didn't mean to interrupt you, but I just want to say that it slipped my mind, but unfortunately, we can't save everybody. But you don't know whose life you might have saved by simply doing this video this morning, especially as it pertains to Black people. So you don't know, who you might have saved. So thank you. That's all I want to say.
Well, thank you for being here. Go ahead, Amalia.
Okay, I want to see you do a show on the Apple Watch, and it has a lot to do with what we're talking about now. If you look into anybody who has an Apple Watch, it gives your EKG, your rhythm, your rate. It can tell whether or not you're having an AFib or whatever. Also, it tracks your fertility when you ovulate. when you're menstruating, your sleep patterns. Those are all things that are coming down the pike where you'll be watched. You talked about that commercial where the people were pulled over and they were looking at the girl and monitoring whether or not she's crossing state lines. These are things that are going to be monitored through that Apple Watch. And not just the Apple Watch, there's other watches out there that do the same thing with this satellite system. So they're actually doing it right now in China with this little satellite system. They can actually see a criminal going across state lines and they use some type of laser to evaporate them. It's a huge thing that's not being talked about. And this piece of what I'm talking about is the fertility piece of it, where women are slowly but surely losing their rights as far as having a say so over their own bodies, you know. So it's all about the babies now. Where you going, ma'am? You're pregnant. You can't go over there. You have to stay right here. We need to make sure you have that baby. We want to see that baby. You know, it's coming down to that. And that's all I wanted to say. I'd like to see you do something on that.
Okay, well, I'm going to look into that. I haven't heard about that, but I'm going to look into that. Amalia, thank you for coming up as well. Olivia, it's always a pleasure. Thank you for coming up. Are you going live today, Olivia?
I'm exhausted now, Ronnie Q. I'm exhausted and I got a headache because anytime I have this discussion, I'm so afraid for my family first, but the collective of Black people, not necessarily individual, because I realize that you won't be able to get through everybody. But when it comes to us collectively, because ultimately that's the only way we're gonna survive. But I get a headache when I'm talking about this. So, girl, I am not. Let me just say right now, I done been live for today on your channel, okay?
Okay.
I can't take it no more. I got a headache.
All right. Thank you for coming up. I greatly appreciate the conversation with you, ladies. And if I, I was just trying to get through a lot of thoughts and ideas and trying to put them together and trying to get through these videos and wondering if I should be playing this. But, I just think that I'm trying to share the information, have the information available. I don't even know if the video will be available. If I had to come through and remove some things and lose the chat, I always like to have the chat up. And sometimes it's just a hard needle to thread. You know what I'm saying? But
you did a wonderful job. You did an excellent job. I might do a video, probably not today. I don't know, but I will. I want to talk about the spiritual aspect of the events that are going on right now. So who knows? I could come back and do that. I doubt it'll happen today though, because I got a headache for real.
Yeah, but it's a lot of things that correlate to what you do spiritually. A lot of people, I don't believe in God, but I'm spiritual. The Bible is a made-up book. Well, shit is made up to be quite accurate. it's quite accurate.
Let me tell you something. It don't matter what you call it. There's a little truth in every lie. Okay, and I hate people that think that there is nothing greater than themselves. You have to be a fool to think that there's nothing greater than you. Okay. But anyway, that's a conversation for another video. But yeah, thank you, Ronnie Q, for doing this. Absolutely.
All right, ladies, have a great day. And
you
I'll
too.
see you on the YouTube stream.
Bye-bye.
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 All right, so don't get me wrong. I like a little BS in my life. Thank you all for being here. I like a little BS in my life, but it's not a lot of stuff going on out here. Technology isn't to be feared. Make yourself knowledgeable and your anxieties will be soothed. The sky is not falling. Okay. Thank you, Vibrant. So it's not a lot going on. We can tell that this DMSO thing has already been wrapped up and packaged and plotted of how they're gonna re-roll out the same old bitch with the same old stunt. So with the positivity of her pages in incognito, and she will be back as if somebody really gives a fuck. And this is from the person who got her the Miss O hands maiden, as y'all call it, who showed her entire ass to kiss after all of this reassuring of the Miss O's return. Okay, and knowing that the Miss O and the hands maiden had just dogged her out the day before. But you know, I don't have time for dumb bitches. I don't have time for dumb bitch shit at this time in my life. Have at it, dumb bitches. And I just cannot indulge in dumb bitch shit. Dumb bitches out here looking stupid for absolutely no reason other than to look stupid and to lie and beg. I don't have time for it. I am really, really sick of it. So that's all I have to say about it. Fuck a hoe. I'm telling you. This YouTube thing is really, really something else. If you talk on something, they come with this bullshit about that. Well, you don't. No, I don't have to do anything but open my motherfucking channel and pop my shit off of these motherfucking worthless ass, lazy ass bitches who don't do anything but plot and scheme with one another about they bullshit that they are trying to pull off. I cannot. Some shit needs to be said, and I'm gonna say the shit that I need to say. If another motherfucker keep quiet and keep getting foots on their neck and asses thrown in their face to kiss, let the dumb bitch keep on getting what they keep on getting. But I ain't got it to give. I do not have it to give. Thank you, Miss G. Thank you, Beans and Cornbread, Miss Queenie, Very Carey, Natural Lux Diva, Liz Libos, Hood Scriptures. I saw UNC Girl, Hood Concert. Hood Scriptures, I'm sorry. Peaches M, all of you, Nessa A, Liz Libos, I Vibrant Love, I thank you for being here. Anybody who's in the clouds who have not stepped down, if you guys would please push the like button on your way out. Poke Shop, thank you all for being here. So that's all that I have. Talented. Hello, Talented. Thank you. I didn't even see you in here. Lisa Monet, thank you for being here. All of you guys, I really appreciate you showing up. And Trouble Woman. Sometimes I be in a mood, but I thank you guys. I thank you guys for being here nonetheless. And dealing with me and my moods. But I don't like having this type of conversation, and I don't like being fucked with either. So there's all of this. A lot is going on, but I'm just gonna try to give you some content. You create an amazing day as well. Thank you, Ambot, for being here. Okay, thank you for hitting the like button, Ambot. All right, guys. Hey, beautiful mind. I hope you guys all have a great day. And that's it. That's all I got. Happy Wednesday. Bye-bye.